but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to round number 4 of the 2020 Ride365.com Nationals here in MX Simulator. It is the Pro Nationals, and we're getting started here at Redbud. So excited to bring you guys the action here tonight. Of course, my name is Kellen Brauer, and if you just joined us last night, we rehashed the second round of Nationals from High Point, but last week was Southwick, and a lot of drama happened there to change some dynamics in both championship standings. So let's go ahead and jump into these qualifying times really fast before we take a look at the championship standings, as Payson Johnson, your current points leader in this 250 division, was the fastest qualifier on a 2:03.687, which was basically 2 seconds faster than Jacob Hubbard's 2:05.5, Logan Leitzel 2:05.8, Tyler Lang, Nathan Prynne all up there. Braden Carter, he's down in 7th. Colby Eaglin, a couple guys that are looking to have some good rides tonight and maybe challenge Payson Johnson for this points lead. But of course, what we're about to see is everybody down here, Maxime Vanderbeek, Ethan Parks, Alexander Iverson, Daniel Irvine, etc., are headed to the consolation race because they did not qualify into the fast 36 times. And we're going to see them in the consolation race in just a second. But before we do that, I want to pull up the results that we had from Southwick. And Jeremy Siebold able to pick up the win there going 2-2, but Braden Carter picking up the win in the second moto really tightened up the points gap on Payson Johnson a little bit. He clawed it down to just 1 point back in the championship. Nathan Prynne picking up a second overall result there at Southwick. But here are those 250 standings. As mentioned, Payson Johnson only 1 point up on Braden Carter. Tyler Lang on 107. Jeremy Siebold moves 4 spots up in the standings after his win last week to 78 points. And Isaiah Dickerson rounds out the top 5. Well, it's going to be an interesting night of racing, and we're not going to wait any longer. We're going to jump into the server right now as the consolation race is getting lined up. Looks like I need to disconnect and reconnect real quick. And we're going to bring you guys the action here from Redbud in Michigan. Always love this track. It's a great round every year, and fortunately, even though we're not being able to do it in real life just yet, everybody that is playing in Sim is donning the USA-themed gear because normally this race falls on the 4th of July weekend. Unfortunately, this year it obviously did not, but still got a lot of USA-themed gear that we're going to keep an eye on here tonight, which is always exciting. So let's get this consolation race out of the way. 4 riders going through in this 4-lap consolation race. You can see 4 riders down the inside there, and then another 12 or so on the outside as JLV gets out of the way, and we're set to go racing tonight here at Redbud. Who's going to go through to the motos out of the consolation race as we are off and running, and several riders hitting the gate as this outside option runs into the 4 riders on the inside, and it's going to be somebody from the middle as it's Mikey Benedict on the 711 who gets the whole shot. Dalton Plessinger settles behind him into second. Alexander Iverson is up here, moving into the 2 spot now ahead of Benedict, but then he goes down. So Lewis Williams and Casey Ohlert take advantage of it, but Ohlert almost through the front door coming down the step down there. All these guys are just trying to sneak their way into the races tonight. The racing will commence here in about 10 minutes time after this consolation race wraps up. And Lewis Williams busting a front flip on the uphill triple there. So we already got some stuff happening out here. Some people feeling fresh, a little froggy out there. And it's Dalton Plessinger leading the way. He is on Panini apparently, but he does not have his skins on. Interesting enough. Lewis Williams still sits second. Mikey Benedict in third, and Jake Kazarian now finds himself in fourth. Daniel Irvine, Max Spokes, Casey Ohlert, all trying to come up and mix it up here. Irvine on that Takatoji racing ride, lays it down, and Spokes hits him, and he goes down as well. So Ohlert goes around them and avoids them. Kamar Glover on the 189 looks to go through, as does Brady White. The Old Man Club on the 615. Nick Tomasunis back here on the 507, and Irvine gets going behind all of them. So all these guys still outside looking in. Whoa, what the heck happened there? Brady White just literally rode through Kamar Glover. I have no idea how that... Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. Kamar Glover is lagging like crazy. He's not even actually appearing on this list. I can't... There he is. He's skipped timing gates for us. Well, there he is, coming back now. But yeah, Kamar Glover lagging heavily here in the consolation race. And wow, pops the leap from the outside. Still pretty far down of Jake Kazarian here, though. Mikey Benedict, Lewis Williams, and Dalton Plessinger out front have stretched out that gap. You can see Kazarian here already has this nice lead back already to Kamar Glover in 5th. And Glover on that 189 machine is just going to hope that something happens to any of the 4 riders ahead of him. Otherwise, it's going to be a long road ahead of him to try to get back up into a transfer spot. He's got 3 laps still to work with, but he's got to start making a lot of time up on these guys. Kazarian looks like he's riding well in this 4 spot. Benedict, Lewis Williams, and Plessinger just front 4, making it kind of easy out here. Glover, Tomasunis, Ohlert, Spokes, White, Irvine, all outside looking in. We got Chandler Bloxham back here, and Alexander Everson. Oh, down goes Brady White. That was with Bloxham as they head back up the uphill triple. No, neither of them can jump it, so over top of them goes somebody, Jake Webb. These DeBomb Designs Yamaha has always put up a fight in these consolation races, battling it out. Everson on Burb Moto. Not Verb Moto, that's B. B as in boy, Burb Moto, as Irvine hits the deck again. And it still just stayed the same. Oh, it looks like Kazarian got around Mikey Benedict. So the 7-Eleven machine is dropped into 4th, which is that final transfer spot, but he's got to be on his toes now. Up the leap he goes, not jumping it, but he doesn't need to. Let's see if Glover's going to huck the leap. No, he's not. So not even going to be able to gain time this lap, as Benedict ahead of him was unable to complete it, and it's still an 8-second gap, 8.5-second gap between Benedict and Glover. It's slowly coming down. Lap time check 17.7 to a 20.7, so 3 seconds a lap. He's going to need about 4 seconds a lap, though, over the next 2 laps to try to reel this gap down and maybe put a pass on Benedict to get into that final transfer spot, as we have 2 laps down and 2 laps still yet to go in the consolation race. Benedict looks like he is just trying to take it easy. Kazarian has stretched the gap out over him, and our leaders, Plessinger and Williams, have pulled away at the front. No real pressure from behind, so it looks like this is going to be quite the easy ride into the motos for both of them. Kazarian might still be in danger, but Benedict definitely on the bubble here. And let's see if this gap is coming down on board with Kamar Glover. 7.2 seconds, now down to 6.9 seconds. You can see how spread out the field already is. But this is a consolation race, so can't imagine we're going to go too many more weeks where we'll still have consolation races being ran. Attendance seems to slowly be dropping down to a point where we won't get any consies, but that's okay because jumping straight into the motos doesn't hurt. That gap hovering right around 6.3 and drops down to 5.9. So Kamar Glover trying to move up here. He's got that gap down to just about 5 seconds. But he's going to need a dynamite last lap still to get to Mr. Benedict ahead of him as we have a change for the lead up front. It looks like Plessinger just fell and allowed Lewis Williams through, so we'll keep an eye on those two. But all eyes on this battle for the final transfer spot. Let's see if Glover can go to the outside this time and get that line lined up to maybe huck the leap. Although it looks like Benedict ahead of him got it. So Glover has to go for it, and he's going to be well short, and it's going to cause him to go down. Kamar Glover needing to do the leap to keep it close as Benedict ahead of him had jumped it. And that's going to cost Glover the opportunity here unless Benedict has a fall. Gap right now is 12.9 seconds, 22.82 and 18.2. So Glover definitely would have laid down about a 2:12, 2:13-ish lap time that time by. And really close this thing down. Probably second guessing his decision to go for the leap right there. But in these consolation races, you cannot second guess anything. At all costs, you got to try to send it to make the motos. And at this point, it is falling apart for Kamar Glover, who just fell again. So Mikey Benedict doing a fabulous job to weather the storm here and just putting in a consistent, solid ride. Benedict and Kazarian seeming to go through. Battle for the lead on the last lap of the race is still hot and heavy. Dalton Plessinger trying to get up the inside of Lewis Williams, and he will make that move. Williams wanting no part of it, but understood at that point because he's just trying to make it through into the motos. There's no need to win the Consi. It only helps you get one better position of a gate pick. As Dalton Plessinger also lagging up a storm, so maybe Lewis Williams just lets him kind of go away here. Doesn't have to think about him. Dalton Plessinger, one of those riders that can, from time to time, surprise you, put in some good results, lead motos on occasion, but he goes off the track here, and Williams shoots up the inside of him, and is Williams still going to get the leap? Yes, he is. So Lewis Williams jumps into the lead here with 2 turns to go, and is going to bring it down to the finish line jump. To take the consolation race win, Lewis Williams is headed to the motos tonight at Redbud. Dalton Plessinger crosses the line second. Jake Kazarian's going to get third. And Benedict, barring a disaster here with a couple corners to go, will end up in fourth. He almost landed on a lapped rider right there. That could have been a bit of a disaster. But it is going to be Mikey Benedict heading to the motos with everybody else. Nick Tomasunis going to be just short down here in the 5 spot. Just short on the Larocco's leap as well. Casey Ohlert also missing out. Max Spokes throwing big whips, but he's not going through either. The Bomb Designs people are starting to battle up back here in the 7 spot, it looks like, or 8 spot, I think this is actually. Bloxham and Jake Webb trying to throw each other off the racetrack again, and Darius Peterson's getting into the mix. Oh, Jake Webb just front flipped. So they're continuing their battle. We got 3 Yamahas, but only 2 of them are teammates. Darius Peterson looks like he wants no part of this. He's just like getting the heck out of here. Kamar Glover, rage quit. Same for Alexander Everson. Daniel Irvine, Brandon Nygren, Brady White, Gavin Smith, all out of this one. So we'll just watch these guys battle it out to the checkers. Going to come down to who does the leap here. Again, this is all just for bragging rights. None of these guys headed to the motos, but it looks like Peterson got the best drive up the hill. He will get the leap. Blocks him straight up and down, crashes. Jake Webb also straight up and down. Lands it, though, and he's going to wait for his teammates, so they're just messing around at this point, laying on top of him. Got to be careful, though, because Brandon Nygren, who missed some timing gates back there, trying to close up, but Jake Webb crosses 9th, blocks him 10th, and I think they're just going to, probably, Nygren already finished the race, actually. So there we go, cuts are in. And Benedict confirmed as going through with Kazarian, Plessinger, and Lewis Williams to the motos. All right then, folks. That is the consolation race done. And now we're getting ready to go racing here at Redbud for the real motos. Time to get pumped up for the motos here at Redbud. Alrighty, getting ready. Gonna wait for these motos to load up. I guess in the meantime, can take you guys around this circuit. Give you guys a little idea of what the track looks like. From my perspective at least, which is gonna be terrible. But why not? Let's go ahead and spin a quick lap of Redbud as we wait for these scripts to be loaded. I'm probably gonna get 2 corners in and Kohenauer is gonna drown me out here with some scripts loaded up. Tight couple first corners here at Redbud. Right, left, right complex, and then drop down the hill. And the section that Mike Alessi got ran over in here is now just a sharp left-hand turn instead that leads you over the small double into this really sharp 180. It's kind of like a bull turn in real life. It's kind of flat here. Launching up this thing. Oh, got a big kick there. Alex Effort's in the chat coming by. He drops off $5. Thanks, buddy. Says 3 races a week must be draining. Hopefully this helps pump you up. Yeah, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little bit exhausted right now, but I don't think it's just because of the 3 races a week. I'd have to imagine it's a little bit to do with the lack of sleep I'm getting every night. But that's okay. It is what it is, and I'm here. Not here for a long time, but I'm here for a good time. This track is quite dark tonight, too. Really dark soil here at Redbud. Alrighty, folks. 250 motor number 1 lining up on the gate right now. We're going to be loading in for the next 5 hours, so sit tight. And in the meantime, if you haven't already, grab yourself your favorite beverage. Perhaps it's an alcoholic beverage, or perhaps it's a Capri Sun. I mean, Capri Suns are good. Why not? Maybe you got yourself a lemonade. Maybe it's cold where you are. Probably not at summertime, but maybe you're, I don't know, from the southern hemisphere and it is cold where you are. You got a hot chocolate, maybe some coffee. Grab a beverage, pull up the chair, and sit tight because we're bringing you guys some hot and heavy action here tonight at Redbud in Michigan. Yes, Moto-Sun, I did get your KTM tonight. Don't you worry, Sunshine. I went through the forums all day long, made sure I downloaded everything I could because I knew people would be updating their packs, and boy, did people update their packs. There was a ton of people sending me skins and updating their stuff on the forums. It is what it is. All right, we got some people saying they're drinking margs. We got Coca-Cola, Big Red Soda Pop. Nice. Some tasty stuff. Bobo's got Corona on the go. Eric Thompson's excited. He just dropped $2 off in the chat. He says, "Let's go!" And I agree with him, actually. I would say that we shall go. Where we will go, I do not yet know. Because the races haven't happened yet, but we're going to decide who exactly is going to win the Redbud National tonight. And this 250 championship battle, a very close one as mentioned. So Payson Johnson, after a horrendous second moto at Southwick last week, it almost couldn't have got any worse than it did, except for the fact that he was able to claw some decent points away late in the moto. But as bad as that moto was, he's been pretty darn good through 3 rounds. We'll see if he can't Keep the ball rolling here. 4 moto wins through 6 motos for Payson Johnson and still holds the points lead, though narrowly over Braden Carter, who only has 1 moto win or 2 moto wins actually to his credit now, I should say. He's won the other 2 motos that Payson Johnson didn't. Bud Light Lemonade, nice. I can tell you in regards to outdoors that just check racerxonline.com tomorrow. We'll have updated info. I'm doing good, Gaps. How are you, buddy? Hopefully you're having a good time tonight. Hope everybody's having a good time. Not just you, but I'm pointing you out because you asked me. Brendan Kennedy, you are not late. You've only missed the consolation race, but we're loading into 250 Moto number 1 right now, so don't worry about it. Sunshine. All right. Parade lap wrapping up out there. And who's going to pick up this hole shot? We got a couple people in chat already trying to pick their hole shot awards. ATE Studios Hole Shot Award. I don't believe Mr. Efforts is doing... Oh, no, he is. I know Alex Efforts is still giving out cash prizes for the hole shot, so... Who's going to pick this ATE Studios hole shot up tonight here in 250 Moto number 1 at Redbud? Big shout out Chase Blakely. He just dropped $6 off. Loving all the donations so far. You guys are absolutely amazing. I really appreciate it. He says, thanks for streaming, Kellen. Really appreciate you doing this. Hey, I appreciate every single one of you tuning in tonight. So let's get revved up and drop the gate. It's the Redbud National. Land rush into the first corner, and the 24 of Eaglin's going to get there first. Does he hold it through? He does. ATE Hole Shot Award goes to Colby Eagland on the number 24 Panini ride. Tyron Tomich settles into second on the 311. Braden Carter was in third, and he just went down. He's on the outside as everybody funnels down the hill the first time. Nathan Prynn up here in third. Trevor Spencer, Tyler Lang, Jaden Wilson, Jeremy Seibolt's got a good start. We got Mozart up here. Maxime Vanderbeek's got a good start as well. Tanner Rogers trying to peek down the inside. I'm not seeing Payson Johnson, and obviously we saw that Braden Carter was hung up. As they all head up to the back section of the track for the first time and drop down to this tricky off-camber corner. Let's see who gets it clean. Eaglin's through well, as is Tomich. Nathan Prynn giving chase right there. Tyler Lang coming in. Trevor Spencer, Jeremy Seibolt around the outside is going to push Jaden Wilson out of the way. And Mozart's going to get passed up the inside as Vanderbeek, Tanner Rogers trying to come down the hill. Oh, it's still close. Mixed into these battles back here, but it is still Eagland out front. And that was a big hole shot for the 24 machine down the inside. Out-jumped everybody and just kind of closed it off and then controlled it from the inside. It was a great start for Eagland. Oh, he's going to make a little mistake, though, entering the sand rollers. And Tomich has got Nathan Prynn on the 130, giving some serious chase here. Prynn, the rider out of France, battling Tomich, the rider out of Australia. Tyron Tomich this week has come alive as he finished up 2-8 scores, I believe, in Germany on Monday evening. Nathan Prynn blows the corner at the bottom of the hill, so Tyler Lang gets the leap over top his head. Trevor Spencer also got the leap, so he closed up on Prynn. Over the finish line jump first lap, it is still Eagland, Tomich, Lang, Prynn, Spencer, and Jeremy Seibolt crosses the line now in 6th, and people are saying he's got lit kit. I'd have to agree. That's why we posted him up on our Instagram. He's got a great USA-themed kit here running in P6, last week's winner. Jaden Wilson, Mozart, Maxime Vanderbeek, and Tanner Rogers round out the top 10. Then Braden Carter, he's moved up into 11th. He's putting some pressure on the Mad Cape 499 ahead of him. Looks like Cooper Hunt's right behind him. The 25 of Roy Mitchell's got a good start. Jacob Hubbard, Trent Shepard, Payson Johnson coming through now in about 15th. He's got Frank Jackson right behind him. They all just funnel down the hill. Brady White, $2 donation, says Seibolt lit kit. as we mentioned. So Braden Carter working really hard on getting around Tanner Rogers. And if he can just finish ahead of Payson Johnson in this moto, he'll take over the championship lead, or at least he'll be tied for the championship lead, so he'll still have the red backgrounds. Obviously, he will not run those in moto number 2, but just proverbially, he'll have it. Next up ahead of him would be Mozart as he completes that pass. Moves up into 9th, does Braden Carter. Jeremy Seabolt still holding Jaden Wilson at bay. Trevor Spencer, Nathan Prynn. Looks like Tomic got passed by Lang. Tyler Lang has moved up to 2nd. Eaglin stretching his lead out in front, and then Lang goes down. Tomic goes by. There goes Prynn, there goes Spencer, there goes Seabolt, there goes Wilson, there goes Mozart, there goes Carter. And just getting there is the 151 of Vanderbeek. Is off the track as well was Mozart, so Braden Carter gets a couple more positions right there. Vanderbeek gives a little nudge to Tyler Lang, goes up the inside of him, and Tanner Rogers is chomping at the bit to try to get around him. Let's get a little peek at the Laraco's leap and see if everybody's getting it. Seabolt's getting it. Jaden Wilson got it. Carter got it. Mozart got it. Trevor Spencer got it. And there goes everybody else through the field, and you can see Payson Johnson coming off the back there. But here is Colby Eaglin, your race leader. 4.5 minutes in, still a lot of time to play left in this moto. So Eaglin going to do what he can to try to settle into a pace and get away from everybody out front. Definitely looks like he has got this track pretty dialed in right now, but we saw as well that Payson Johnson's lap time 2 seconds faster than anybody else in qualifying. So Tyron Tomic and Nathan Prynn are going to continue their battle for 2nd as Tyler Lang has moved back through the field. And Prynn just went down, so Seabolt moves up to 3rd. Wilson now in 4th, and Carter slides up the inside to get into 5th. Mozart's right here. Prynn gets up just ahead of Trevor Spencer and Tyler Lang as they go up the hill. The camera's kind of wonked out there for a second, but this is an absolute freight train of riders mixed in here. Battles aplenty. As Lang's trying to get around Spencer, Mozart's peeking down the inside of Nathan Prynn. Prynn able to hold him off. Spencer now has Lang push him out. Lang goes through on the 14, then a stack up back there. As Vanderbeek also goes by Spencer, we can see the 351 of Payson Johnson with those red backgrounds mixed in this group on that Panini Kawasaki. Lang peeking up the inside of Mozart. Nicely done. Hooks that inside rut, and he's out of here. Trying to keep pace with Nathan Prynn. Couple guys that were up in some good positions early but crashed their way back here, and right now Braden Carter is going to be pretty excited about his positioning. Several positions ahead of Payson Johnson and continuing to slice forward through the field very quickly early on in this moto. Jaden Wilson having a strong showing here early. Jeremy Seabolt, last week's winner. Pretty far down in the championship is Seabolt. But at least with some of his results of late, kind of pulled himself back into contention a little bit. Tyron Tomic has really come alive this week, as mentioned. Got a 2nd place in the first moto at the German Grand Prix on Monday night at Teutschenthal. Had a rough 2nd moto to follow it up with, but Tomic, who just was able to sneak into the points a few rounds ago, is now finding himself battling for the lead positions now. Little hiccup through the corner there, so that's going to cost him some time as Seabolt closes up a little bit more. Eaglin's lead now out to 7.9 seconds over Tomic. Then Seabolt right here behind Tomic. Jaden Wilson, and now Nathan Prynn has gotten back ahead of Carter. So Nathan Prynn on the move, as is Tyler Lang. Prynn and Lang going forward together. And another mistake for Carter. Down the inside, Tyler Lang's going to try to complete that pass, and he will. And suddenly, Braden Carter has fallen back a little bit. Mozart would be the next one to him, and now several positions that were between Braden Carter and Payson Johnson is now just a couple positions as Johnson moves up into, this is 9th. Braden Carter drops back to 7th, and Johnson laying down 2:11.9s in traffic. See what it's like to go through this last couple sections here on board with Payson Johnson. Nathan Zaworski, my old mate Nate, drops off $1608 because he is the OG 608, and then he had a career number 68 for a little while, but then lost that, so now he's back to 608, and Nate's a legend in this game. If you don't already know YZMX or 608, what are you doing? What are you doing? You got to know YZMX or 608. But he's dropping off some cash, and he says, buy something nice for Baby Holly or beer or whatever you want. Thanks, Nate. Always appreciate the support, buddy. A little bit bummed that we're not going to maybe be able to hang out this year, Nate guy. Thinking about it now. Payson Johnson now moving around Tyron Tomich, who's crashed his way back a little ways. And now Nathan Prynn just got around Jeremy Siebold. Prynn really charging forward on this 130, but Siebold now comes alive and peeks down the inside, but backs out of that challenge, and that might cost him a position. Lang's trying to go over top. Can't quite get it. So up the hill they go. Everybody trying to scrub and stay low on that uphill triple. Braden Carter funneling in right behind these guys as well as Nathan Prynn's getting a little wayward, and Siebold's trying to take advantage of it to go to the inside and make a move. Oh, Prynn just getting all out of sorts. And now Siebold slides it down, so is that going to open opportunity for Lang to get through? No, Siebold shuts the door. These guys are 16 seconds off the lead. Colby Eaglin checking out front, but there's some serious action going on to Siebold. Oh, he almost blew the rut. And down the inside, Lang not able to get there just yet. And in the background, I just saw Payson Johnson sizing up Jaden Wilson for a pass, perhaps. 2, 3, 4 on the screen. 5 right now is Carter, 6 Wilson, 7 Payson Johnson. Through the rollers. And Johnson did indeed make that move on Jaden Wilson. And we've lost Braden Carter. Where is Braden Carter gone? There he is. He's back here in this battle behind Roy Mitchell ahead of Tanner Rogers. So Braden Carter, it was looking so well for him, but now he's about 6 spots behind Payson Johnson. And this is going to be really interesting to see Johnson, how much he can slice through this field. 2:08.6, follows it up with a 2:08.3. 2:08.3 for Siebold in third, and a 2:08.4 for Prynn are competitive lap times comparable, and a 2:08.8 for Eaglin. But right now, nobody else is in the 2:08s except Payson Johnson, who just moved up into fourth as Jaden Wilson falls behind him. Siebold and Prynn still battling it out for the 2 spot, which means we've lost Tyler Lang somewhere. Tomich, Lang, Spencer, Carter, Rogers, and a freight train here with Roy Mitchell coming up behind them. Oh, Spencer hits the deck on the 192 swapmotolive.com. And fortunate not to lose too many positions, but here comes a host of other riders. Cavacuti jumping down the hill. Is that Cooper Hunt? I think right behind him as well. It is, and going down in the background, Frank Jackson. I think he might still get going before Ethan Gerst gets there, but Cooper Hunt just made a mistake and went down. Cavacuti sending it up the hill, trying to get around Trevor Spencer. Oh, look at that drive around the outside for Cavacuti. Oh, but he gets swaps. And more swaps. Oh, and he finally hits the deck. Big one for Cavacuti. He's going to cost him a ton of time there. So let's kind of reset the order here. Eaglin continues to lead. Siebold, Prynn battling it hard for second. Payson Johnson's climbed up to third. So 3 Panini riders in the top 4. Tyler Lang sits 5th ahead of Tyron Tomich. Braden Carter in 7th. 8th for Jaden Wilson. 9th, Tanner Rogers. 10th, Roy Mitchell. 11th, Jacob Hubbard. So this group in here, it's still pretty close. Let's go on board Tanner Rogers and see everybody right ahead of him. Right behind Jaden Wilson, Braden Carter, Tyron Tomich, and just up the front of them is Tyler Lang, who just hit the leap. And all these 250F guys with that outside line able to get the leap. I'm sure we'll see some 450 guys use those insides a little bit later on this evening. Rogers trying to size up something against Wilson, and Braden Carter just got stacked up in the first corner a little bit, battling out with Tyron Tomich, but he gets up and he continues on with his battle. And now Tomich makes a mistake and hops back over the rut into Tanner Rogers. Around the outside goes Cooper Hunt. Nice move there for Hunt. Peeking off the back of these guys still, Roy Mitchell. Oh, Tomich landed hard there trying to get some power up the hill. Looks like Lang now right behind Seabolt, so that means it's a Panini 1-2-3 right now. Payson Johnson's moved up to third, Print is in second, and Eaglin continues to lead. Can't imagine it's very long before Payson Johnson tries to find his way around Nathan Print here to move up into the 2 spot as he continues to lay down some blistering lap times. Print a little bit off the track there. That's going to cost a little bit of time there. Johnson gets the line much cleaner, trying to carry speed around the outside, lays it in, but loses some traction. Payson Johnson, you're going to go inside here. There's no way he can still get the leap from here, right? He's just trying to salvage some time. Yeah, still just doubles the leap. That was an interesting move because he was right in the midst of that battle with Print, and that just cost him enough time to kind of lose touch with him a little bit here. Now another big mistake. He's now 3 seconds behind Print. Interesting mistake there. Here is Jeremy Seabolt up into 4th, and Tyler Lang landing off the finish line jump in 5th. So that's actually give us a really good opportunity to do a quick top 20 rundown as we are now halfway into this moto. Creeping up actually on 16 minutes into the moto, so we're a little bit over halfway. But let's go ahead and quickly do a top 20 rundown. This one is brought to you by MXS Lobby, a great place to stop off and get yourself your own server. They've been doing dedicated servers for years and know how to get you dialed in. And they have a host of other races that they host over there, so that'd be a cool place for you to go check out some of the races that you may be able to get involved in. But definitely check out their servers. You're able to buy a server off them, and you can handle your own business, essentially. Host your own races, do whatever you want. Got a great tool over there to help you get started. MXS Lobby, your one-stop shop for MX Simulator servers. Head over there today to get involved. As Colby Eaglin on the Panini number 24 continues to lead the race. Payson Johnson has now moved around Nathan Print to get up into 2nd. So it's a Panini Motorsports 1-2-3 as Nathan Print on the number 130 drops back into 3rd. Jeremy Seabolt, Privateer, lifing it up on the number 19 machine. He's up in 4th right now. Tyler Lang on the MV Films number 14 is in 5th. 6th for Braden Carter on the QM1 number 32. 7th is Jacob Hubbard on the VlastMX.com number 46. 8th right now is Tyron Tomich on the Connect Visual number 311. 9th, Roy Mitchell. Broken Hand, Jack Daniels Racing, Suzuki Factory Racing. Not running his skins tonight, though. How do I know that? Because I had the JDR team skins at Teutschenthal, but Roy Mitchell not running them now. And P10 right now belongs to Tanner Rogers, the Mad Cape, number 499. 11th on the JDR machine, the 720 of Jaden Wilson. 12th right now is Cooper Hunt on the VlastMX.com, number 304. 13th, Trevor Spencer, SwapMotoLive.com, number 192, but he's going to lose that spot as through into 13th goes Frank Jackson on the Viraco number 67, ahead of Logan Leitzel, who drops now to 14th on the number 18 Mad Cape machine. 15th now is Trevor Spencer, SwapMotoLive.com, number 192. 16th for Ethan Gerst on the AEO Power Sports number 260. 17th for Maxime Vanderbeek on the number 151. 18th for Zoa Cross on the MXSoccer.com number 49. 19th for Alex Kerr on the Takatoji, number 352. And 20th, though it's a disputed battle at the moment, is Casey Cochran on the BPC, number 266. Neil Fitzpatrick right there behind him on the 91. Reed Young, Tegrity is back there. Trent Shepard and Mozart just got hung up in the corner. They're still battling, trying to score some points. And that has been a Top 20 Rundown brought to you by MXS Lobby. Nathan Prynn coming under attack a little bit here. Jeremy Seabolt's closed it down awfully quick. Oh, and then he lost a lot of traction coming out of that corner, so Prynn gets a much better drive down the hill, then completely blows the corner. Seabolt does the exact same thing, and they make contact off the track together. Very interesting there, as Lang also blew the corner on exit, but Lang gets gifted third there. Now Seabolt blows the corner again, and Carter's trying to peek down the inside. Running the same gear set, but different teams, obviously. Seabolt on a privateer effort KTM ahead of the QM1 number 32 machine of Braden Carter. And this is a battle for fourth right now. See if Carter can start reeling him in a little bit. Put that pressure on the back of the 19. Or does Seabolt pick up his pace once again and go after Lang? Looks to be the case right now that Seabolt's keeping Carter at bay, and Prynn trying to regather his thoughts back in 6th. Tomich 7th, Hubbard 8th, Mitchell 9th, Rogers 10th, as everybody's still pretty close together from about 3 back to 10. All these guys still trying to huck the leap and doing so successfully. Curious to see if that outside line maybe breaks down a little bit too much, so later in the race they can't hook it well enough to get the leap. Because right now it seems like it's absolutely primed for hitting it. Oh, Seabolt down. Jeremy Seabolt just picked himself up from a crash and falls behind Tomich. So through goes Prynn, Carter, and Tomich after a quick fall there for Seabolt. And suddenly Braden Carter's back in a pretty good position to score some good points here. Trying to peek down the inside, but he just made a mistake and jumped off the track. Still trying to carry some speed up the hill. Putting some pressure on Nathan Prynn for the 4 spot. The soft camber is very tricky, and Prynn blew it last time by, so he's going to go far inside to defend. And around the outside, Carter's trying to get a better drive up the hill. Does he get that pass done? No, backs out of the challenge, and Prynn holds it. So let's see where these two are right now. 2:09.6 for Eaglin, 14.4 second lead. He's got 9 minutes or so and 2 laps left to go. And we'll quickly examine the lap times this time by to see if that gap is dropping and by how much it is. So this time by, it's a 2:10.7 for Colby Eaglin, 13.5 second lead. And I'd have to imagine Payson Johnson also going to run a pretty similar lap time here. A 2:07.2, so Payson Johnson's first lap in clean air just put something really special down there. But he is going to have to really work his magic here to close this gap down to race leader Colby Eaglin and try to steal this win away. Even though they're teammates, I highly doubt Eaglin's just going to let him go. So Johnson's got to earn this one, fair and square. Incredible lap time there put in by Payson Johnson, though, trying to close up on Eaglin. And Prynn still holding on third. So Carter now closing up on Prynn, and Lang's coming up into the mix again on the 14. It's going kind of this never-ending battle for P3. Not exactly what Carter was hoping for after starting ahead of Payson Johnson, but I think if he can salvage a third here, he'll be pretty excited about it at least. Because in this case, he'll only lose 2 points in the championship and only be 3 points down on Payson Johnson as Prin misses the rut on the inside. And that's going to be all Braden Carter needed to see as he goes into third. Tyler Lang able to leapfrog Prin as well for fourth. Tyler Lang now closing up on Braden Carter quite rapidly here in what is now a battle for the 3 spot. As they head into the rollers. Carter keeps him at bay for the time being, but there's a couple spots Lang seems to be faster on the track, and almost wonder if he's going to bide his time until he gets to those sections. Looks like that rut is still forming well enough that they're going to get the leap pretty easily. Well, it's getting close. Lang trying to peek down the inside over the finish line. Jump they go. Battle for third. Here at Redbud. Nathan Prin still back there hoping these two get together. And we're 24.5 minutes in, so we only have 5.5 minutes and a couple laps left to go. Lead gap at 12.8 right now. Whoa, server lag. Bad server lag. Wow, that was big. You can see it because they just slow-mode really hard. And suddenly they're going fast motion again. Let's see if anybody else in the server saw that. Doesn't seem like it, but I did. So continuing on with their battle, Carter seems to have opened up a small enough gap here on Lang to at least manage it for the time being. They are really far back of Nathan Prin, or I'm sorry, of Colby, not Colby Eaglin. Payson Johnson ahead of them. The other Panini Motorsports rider. There's so many of them to pick from. I got all of them wrong up until that very last answer. Lang trying to close right back up here on Braden Carter once more. Make things interesting. That is Jacob Hubbard back there in 5th right now. He's only, well, he just went off the track, but he was closing up on those guys a little bit. So Prince dropped back down to 7th, and Lang still putting so much pressure on the back of Carter. Still nothing he's done just about it yet. Eaglin working through some lap traffic. That's allowing Payson Johnson to bring this gap down under 10 seconds. A 2:07.8 last time by to a 2:10.8. I mean, you can't fault Eaglin. He's running a very well pace out front. But Payson Johnson just absolutely clawing the time away. Johnson a little sideways coming down the off camber. You can see just how dark this track is. It's really one of those tracks you have to really be careful coming on corner entry because sometimes you can't even see the rut you're about to go into. That gap is coming down pretty quick here. 6 seconds in it. So Johnson does have to go through that thick rider or a pack of riders that are ahead of him. A lap down. 4 of them pretty closely knit together, and Eaglin ahead of him has got around all of them. So this is going to be hard for Johnson to navigate, I should say. Trevor Spencer's one of them, and he just kind of taps into him a little bit and swings to the outside. Still going to get a drive to do the leap. If he does, he'll get Dylan Cavacuti. And he does. Wow, Payson Johnson, that was incredible. That outside line carrying so much momentum up the hill. And a 2:06.7, Payson Johnson absolutely flying here at Redbud right now. Got the gap down to 5 seconds, and it is continuing to drop as Eaglin just sweating in his jorts ahead of him. 2:11.6 last time by. At that rate, Johnson's going to catch him before the end of this lap. Seems like it's stabilized a little bit. I'm sure that lap traffic definitely helped the case. Man, Payson Johnson putting down some serious heaters right now. It almost seems like Eaglin got the memo, because 29 minutes into this moto, he only has to hang on for another minute and then 2 laps after it. And it seems like he's picked up his pace ever so slightly, but Johnson is still running just too good of a pace at this point. At some point in the next lap or two, Eaglin's going to have him right behind him. Just incredible to watch how Payson Johnson navigates this track right now. He's going so fast, carrying so much speed. That gap coming down even further. Through the rollers. It's coming down even more, 1.5 seconds. He's going to be on him as they take the 2 lap board here because time is about to expire. 30 minutes on the clock. Now, Payson Johnson all over his teammate Colby Eaglin for the lead, who has led every single lap of this race to this point after hole shotting. And Payson Johnson is there, folks. He tries to square him off to the inside. Not quite going to get there just yet, but I'm almost curious to see this lap time as Payson Johnson takes the lead at Redbud with the 2 lap board coming out, and he shuts the door on Eaglin. He did a 2:05.1 that time by. Oh my goodness, to a 2:10.3 out of Eaglin. There's just no response to that. When someone's going that much faster than you, there is nothing you can do. Payson Johnson is absolutely flying right now, and barring a crash, Eaglin's just going to have to settle for second. But look at the lead they've opened up here on Brayden Carter back here in third. It is so far back. Rider down. That looks to be one of the Integrity riders, I think. It was not Payson Johnson, though. Johnson up the hill. Eaglin's still just trying to keep him honest. There is lap traffic that he's coming up on. Very nicely so, getting out of the way. Eaglin's going to tuck far inside. Rider down. Was that Seabolt? That looked like Jeremy Seabolt that they just lapped. How far up are they lapping right now? Because I think I see... whoa, my gosh. He almost just landed on Trent Shepard, the 55. And there's another QM1 rider that they're coming up to right now. And Eaglin's doing a really solid job of keeping it close. For what it's worth, as fast as Johnson's going, Eaglin's just doing everything he can. I mean, Eaglin's still right there, people. This is not over. White flag gonna wave next time by, and Colby Eaglin looks like he's starting to find a bit of a groove again. Let's see if he can turn it into something. Johnson blows the corner at the bottom of the leap, and he's not going to be able to get the leap. I don't think Eaglin's going to get it either, though. No, Eaglin had to back out of the challenge. Over top, Shepard lands on Payson Johnson. Trent Shepard went for the leap as both of them ahead of him did not do it, and Johnson goes down. Oh, no. That was going to be a battle between teammates to the checkered flag, and Eaglin might have this one easy as the white flag is waving. And it's a 9-second gap suddenly. Oh, boy. So Colby Eaglin now is in a fantastic position to win this moto. But you've got to feel for Payson Johnson. He did blow that by himself just a little bit, to be fair. But Trent Shepard, where was he going? So now Eaglin's just got to try to salvage this thing all the way home. And he will pick up this moto win, but Payson Johnson back here, he must be furious right now. He's riding with a chip on his shoulder suddenly, and that is Seabolt they're lapping, is it not? That's got to be him, isn't it? It is. They're lapping Jeremy Seabolt, last week's winner, and he just went down. And Payson Johnson throwing caution to the wind, making a ton of mistakes, just trying everything he can to close this gap down. Going around Luke Sullivan. Oh, Johnson's going to go down again. That's all she wrote for sure. No chance at this point. Eaglin's got this thing wrapped. Back here, it's still Braden Carter, Tyler Lang, Jacob Hubbard, Nathan Print, and Tyron Tomich are battling. Tanner Rogers, Roy Mitchell, Jaden Wilson, Zoa Cross, Cooper Hunt, Ethan Gurst, Frank Jackson, Logan Leitzel, Mozart, Maxime Vanderbeek. Here is Sullivan, Cochran, and Seabolt is way back here, and they just unlapped themselves from Payson Johnson, who just went down again. So like I said, really coming unraveled here. But how about it, Colby Eaglin? I mean, you can't, really fault Eaglin. This win was just about as deserved as it gets here, because if it wasn't for Payson Johnson being an alien, Eaglin dominated this moto with all intents and purposes. But through the final corner he comes. Colby Eaglin has won 250 Moto 1 here at Redbud. Johnson mixed in with the lapper still. Looks like he's going to pick up second, no problem. And this battle for third raging is off the track. Goes Tyler Lang. Comes back on, and he's still trying to keep it close. Maybe cuts will help it out here. Comes down to the leap as well. Uh-oh, Carter didn't get a great drive. Is he still going to go for it? He has to, or else he loses the spot. Does he get it clean? He's a little short. Lane got it much cleaner, and he shoots down the inside. Oh, he's not going to get there, though, as Carter, through the final corner, holds it on and finishes in third. Lang comes across in fourth. Wow, that was close at the end. 9/10 in it. They were 24 seconds back of Johnson still, which is incredible because Johnson crashed twice there. Hubbard fifth. Nathan Prynne looks like he's got six pretty well locked up here. Tanner Rogers trying to pick up seventh, but Tomich keeping him honest. And indeed, it looks like Rogers will hold off Tomich there for that position. Roy Mitchell will come across the line ninth. Jaden Wilson inside the top 10. Good stuff for the 720 there. Zoa Cross getting a little slideways here before the finish line jump, but he's got 11th well and truly wrapped up. Cooper Hunt, 12th. Leitzel, 13th. Mozart, Frank Jackson. As they come through the rollers one more time. It's still close between all these guys, but unless one of them crashes, pretty unlikely a pass is going to happen. Jackson up the hill. Gets it clean. Ethan Gurst. Looks like he's on his way to 16th, no problem. Maxime Vanderbeek is guaranteed 17th then, because 18th was the first man lap down. 19th for Seabolt, matches his number, but he's going to be furious with that. And Casey Cochran picks up a point in 20th. He's only 8/100ths behind Seabolt, so we'll see. Give kudos to Payson Johnson, though, for not raging in chat, because I've seen many a times, I've done it personally as well, where someone gets in your way and the first instinct is to rage in chat, and Tyler Lane got Braden Carter on cuts. Carter, 1.52 seconds of cuts, loses third, ends up fourth. Johnson still is second, and Eaglin picks up the win. Whew, what a first moto that was. That was intense here at Redbud. All right, folks, we got a little 5-minute intermission coming up right now. So if you guys have any questions or anything you'd like to talk about in the chat, please do so now. Also, M. Garrett, I like how he's always in here just talking crap, but I mean, he says play different games. What does he want me to do? I play MX vs. ATV All Out. We play Monster Energy Supercross the game. We play MX Bikes. We play MX vs. ATV Reflex. I uploaded an F1 2020 video on the channel today. So from time to time, we're going to have some MX Simulator streams in between all that. I'm sorry, buddy. I try to play as many different games as I possibly can to cover all gamut of motocross racing. And if you don't have the time to look around the channel and see some of that other content that we've uploaded, because there's over 1,100 videos on this channel at this point, I don't know what to tell you. So sorry, we're playing MX Simulator, but I think 217 or so people are pretty happy to be here right now. Brady White wants to know, how's my baby? She is doing fabulous. She got to see her grandmother today, which was very exciting. And yeah, she's doing great. Do you like kettle corn or regular popcorn? My parents actually owned a kettle corn business when I was 5 till I was like 13 or so, and we went and did a lot of events. I learned how to actually cook in a kettle, like cooking kettle corn. Cook it in the kettle, put some oil, some salt, mix it in with the sugar, obviously, spin it around the kettle, then you dump it into the cooling bin. And I like kettle corn personally more than popcorn, just because we had a business and I got free kettle corn forever. But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I love F1 2020. It's a great game. I've just been playing the heck out of it, which is why I've been putting some videos up on the channel. Thank you, Battlefield Gaming. I'm glad you love my videos, buddy. Play Mad Skills MX, yeah. The big blue bar is the blue flag, indeed. How can we race pro MX Sim races, says Daddy Damers. Head over to racefactorgaming.com, get yourself an account, get signed up, and you can, if you've never raced before, they'll have you probably seated into amateurs, but then you can get a pro license and race in the pro class, all done through racefactorgaming.com. What's my favorite game? It's so tough to say I have a favorite game. For a long time, it was Sim, just because I've obviously dedicated a lot of hours to it. I was pretty good at the game. Lately, I suck at it, so I'm not having a lot of fun. If I could pick a favorite game right now, I'd play F1 2020, if I'm honest. Track walk, Ayresburg, and MX Bikes. Yep, that is the plan. I'm going to try to get that done here pretty soon. I want to reach out to Resolute Kraken and have him in the video. I just haven't had the chance yet because we've had 3 straight nights of streaming, and I work all day at Racer X, so I can't really take time from that to do streaming stuff. But I'm going to reach out to Resolute, maybe even after the race tonight, and we're going to try to get some audio clips of him talking about building the track, and then we're going to play Ayresburg and MX Bikes as well. Kettle corn is awesome for sure. The greatest fight in Supercross history. Man. I particularly like Doug Henry and Ryan Hughes at Steel City, and I think that was 94? Like that fight. That was a good one because there's actually some fists thrown, and then Henry tackle him to the ground. Most fist fights in motocross are so dumb, though, because it's just punching helmets and then tackling him to the ground. So Tyler Evans had good ones. Weston Pike beating the back of Vince Freeze was obviously good, too. Is MX Sim worth getting if I don't want to spend a lot of money on it? I think so. Look, people always complain about the $42 price tag in MX Simulator, and I get it. Like, on a base level, the game doesn't seem to have that much to it. But the difference is most other games, you pay $60 and then pay $5 for every single DLC package. It didn't used to be this way, but nowadays you do have to pay to get some bikes and some skins and stuff like that. But most every single track in this game is released for free, so you can download literally thousands of tracks in this game and play them to your leisure for free after spending $42. Then skins, bikes, models, etc. You can even go back and find some of the free models, but if you're willing to fork out a couple bucks here and there, you can find yourself some good models to use in the game as well, make your entire setup. Like, there is so much depth to MX Simulator that the $42 doesn't really do justice to, I would say. And when you get the base game, it doesn't look like there's a lot. So I would say $42 is absolutely worth it for MX Simulator, but that's just my opinion. How do you watch the AMS race? Cody Walker asks. I think KR Money does it, right? Twitch.tv/KR_money. Or I believe he's also on YouTube now, too. So just look for KR Money. And he does most of the streams, I think, for not only AMS, but EMF as well. He just kills it all across the board. He does a great job. So check him out. Do people earn any money from Sim, like the team guys like Husky? There was a time in like 2016, 2017 that I knew of teams that were paying their riders to race for them. And then nowadays you can earn cash prizes for, finishing up front. Brady White's giving out some cash prizes this year. Alex Efforts for giving whole shot awards and stuff like that. I think that you can earn some money, but it's not really a lot. It's just, bucks here and there, but it's more than nothing. Why don't you do track walks on the Nationals before races anymore? I switched everything that I would do about national coverage, talking about the national track and the Nationals in real life, to just a video in its own right, not a track walk. So track walks are devoted to custom tracks, not the real tracks of any kind. Which is why I don't do Nationals or the Supercrosses for track walks anymore. But eventually I will do these tracks or some of them to talk about the real life Pro Motocross Championship when it starts. I just haven't, obviously we haven't got there yet. Let's see. Yeah, littest kit on the market, you got to spend a ton of money. Probably not hundreds of dollars, but you definitely would have to spend more than $100 to get some of the good kits, because like Dre's model isn't cheap. A lot of Cohenauer's bike models aren't cheap. Alex Efforts, he does great work, and he sells his helmets for, I think, a couple bucks a piece as well. So just to get a whole package that looks like top of the line like some of these guys have, they usually do spend close to 100, if not more, dollars. Get their good stuff. How do you change your name on RF? That would be reaching out to Jeremy Cohenauer and just asking to get your name changed. He has all the back-end access to changing your name. So go to the RF Discord, set up a ticket, and ask to get your name changed. And that's how you would do it. All right, folks. Thanks for all the questions. Appreciate it. Let's get these revs up and go racing. Who's going to get the ATE Studios whole shot? Oh, Fitzpatrick doesn't go off the gate, so I got to find somebody else. And into the first corner, it is a Yamaha. It is Tyner Rogers who gets the whole shot. 499 Mad Cape ride gets the whole shot here in 250 Moto number 2. Jacob Hubbard's trying to go around the outside of him, and he's going to do so to take the lead. Tyron Tomich, Jeremy Siebold, Colby Eaglin, good starts. Payson Johnson's also got a good start, so that's going to be bad news for the rest of the field. As everybody funnels through on the first lap here. And Hubbard landing off the uphill triple on the first lap. He's going to be excited about this start. He's got a great start to work with. Now, what can he do with it this time? First time we've seen Hubbard with a lead this season, I believe. Jeremy Siebold trying to peek up there on Tyron Tomich. Tomich goes up into the 2 spot. Siebold up to 3rd. Payson Johnson goes up to 4th. And Colby Eaglin trying to keep pace. Drag racing up the hill. Hubbard getting away from these guys a little bit, and Johnson down the inside of Tomich. Oh, not quite dualies. I thought we might get dualies. We did not get dualies, but Johnson moves up into 3rd. And Siebold just went off the track, so Johnson going to try to jump into 2nd, and he just gets there. Siebold down. Jeremy Siebold hitting the deck as Payson Johnson had to check up hard in the corner, and Siebold just drove it in a little bit too hot in behind him. So Johnson now moves up to 2nd. Like I said, this is going to be bad news for the rest of the field, but right now it's good news as Jacob Hubbard continues to lead. Over the finish line jump they go. It's Hubbard, Johnson, Tomich in 3rd, Eaglin, Rogers, Lang, Cross, Carter, Mozart over the line. Leitzel, Cochran, Sullivan, Siebold, Jackson, Wilcox, Kerr, Hunt, Love, Mitchell, Prokop, Wilson, Mikey Benedict with a good start. Dylan Cavacuti, Gerst, Prin, Young, Kazarian, Paz, Williams, Spencer all buried back here. Hans, Parks, Fitzpatrick, Hewen, Sean Klein with a bad start as well. Don Plessinger well down the order. Vanderbeek, Anderson, and Trent Shepard, who was the man that cost a chance at least for Payson Johnson to win the first moto, has already rage quit out of the second moto. Or perhaps, did he get kicked? Nope, just disconnected. So, interesting. Payson Johnson, though, already putting pressure on Hubbard, and a big mistake down the inside. Hubbard's going to lose the lead. Johnson around the outside is going to get a drive up the inside, and Payson Johnson has gone to the lead here at Redbud. 2 laps in, he's already out front, and with the lap times he was running at the end of the first moto, this could easily be the last time any one of these guys sees him in terms of a battle, which is bad news for everybody else. But these guys still trying to mix it up, obviously. Looks like Eaglin's lost a little bit of positions, too. Tanner Rogers trying to hold off Zoe Cross. They're right behind Tomic there on the 311. Oh, Tomic off the track. Everybody slid out in that corner. Zoe Cross even slid out, and he took out Tomic in the process. So Lang gains about 5 spots in one corner, goes by a bunch of people. Eaglin picks up a spot. Cross ends up pretty much in the same spot he was. Braden Carter's mixed in here. Tanner Rogers jumping down the hill. They all triple up LaRocco's leap here to complete their second lap of the race. Third lap is already underway for Payson Johnson out front. And Moto 1 winner Colby Eaglin here, who became the third different rider here in the 7th moto of the season to win a moto. Curtailing off of 2 moto wins already from Braden Carter and 4 moto wins from Payson Johnson. But Johnson already out front, extending his lead. Eaglin, Lang dropping down the hill. Looks like Hubbard, at least for now, is keeping Payson Johnson somewhat honest as these guys all continue their battle back here. Oh, Zoe Cross has got to run on Eaglin. Up the hill they go. Little flick together over the jump. And Eaglin trying to respond to the pressure. Holds Cross, at least, at bay for the time being. And this inside line, everybody tries to go to this inside line. And this time it actually did work, but most of the time it didn't seem like it was working. Oh, and there's Hubbard just getting up from a crash. So Payson Johnson has a huge lead now as Lang tries to settle in behind him. Tyler Lang right on the back here of Jacob Hubbard for second. Lang, Eaglin, Cross, Carter all following through in this battle. Over the big tabletop here, and then swooping into the rollers. Inside line there for Eaglin again, and then way off the track goes Zoe Cross, so I think Braden Carter's going to complete that pass on him. Oh, no, actually, they get together. Maybe, not sure what happened there with Cross, but Carter shoots down the inside, puts him down. So Tanner Rogers goes on by. Here comes Cochran, Frank Jackson. Is that Siebold in the back of them as well? No, it's Luke Sullivan, actually. And then Mozart. So we got 3 different teams running that Thor USA-themed gear. And it's throwing me for an absolute loop right here. We got Burb Moto, QM1, and then Siebold's Privateer KTM effort running that Thor gear. Casey Cochran finished 20th in the first moto, and he's battling with Frank Jackson right now. Jackson down the inside, moves past the 266 machine, putting his Viraco Honda up another position. And Luke Sullivan just off the back of these guys as well. And he's going to try to go down the inside of Cochran and make that pass sick, and he will, at least for the time being, as they jump down the hill. And Cochran just made a mistake, so that's going to allow Mozart through as well. Who is Mozart? Does it say on the back of his jersey? No, it just says Mozart. I don't know who this is. Improper naming convention. Eaglin and Lang duking it out right now, right behind Hubbard. And they're disputing third. 11-second lead for Pace and Johnson already. We're not even 10 minutes into the moto. As mentioned, people may not see much of him in this race. Just as quickly as Eaglin was putting pressure on Lang, it seems like Lang now is closing up to the back here of Hubbard once again. Oh, Hubbard down. Hubbard down to the outside of the track, so through goes Braden Carter. And he's going to get going still in the 5 position. As up to second goes Lang. Eaglin's still right behind him. Tripling up the hill. Bradley Clay, isn't he the dude with the songs? Yes, Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart is a classical musician. More speaking to the MX Simulator character Mozart, who he is, and everybody's telling me it's Anthony Anderson. But I appreciate the joke, Mr. Clay. Frank Jackson has Luke Sullivan still breathing down his neck as they continue their battle for 8th. So we got a myriad of battles mixed up here. Zoe Cross trying to catch up to Tanner Rogers. And they're back ahead of Braden Carter, so Carter has fallen back a little bit. Little mistake though for Cross, and Carter going to try to take advantage of it. He's going to that inside line. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Right now it doesn't work for a pass, but it doesn't look like he lost any time either. This time he will get the pass done though, because Cross blew the inside rut. Tanner Rogers now has Carter to deal with. Oh, contact! And Carter, fortunate to stay up right there, just clipped the back wheel of Tanner Rogers there. Look at the lead Johnson's already got here. Let's do really quickly, just see where all the gaps are here. As Johnson comes down the mechanic straight, and we'll just sit here and watch. Look at how big his lead already is. It's 11 minutes into the moto, and we can't even hear him anymore. He's already so far we can't even hear his bike anymore. So 11 minutes in, there is second Tyler Lang. There's P3 right now. That is Colby Eaglin. 4th right now for Jacob Hubbard on the 46. 5th is Tanner Rogers. 6th is Zoa Cross as they continue their battle. Then Carter in 7th. 8th right now is Frank Jackson. 9th for Luke Sullivan. 10th looks to be Jeremy Siebold. 11th is Casey Cochran. 12th is Anton Anderson on the 204. 13th for Tyron Tomich on the 311. 14th. That's the 174, and 15th is Jaden Wilson. 16th for Cooper Hunt, 17th for Logan Leitzel. 18th for the 502, 19th, and 20th are a couple of the AEO riders. It's Ethan Gerst and Colt Hans as Daniel Paz went down. Who's that man on the 172 that I don't know? Oh, it's Dylan Love. Dylan Love with a good ride so far on the MXLocker.com machine. It's 174 actually. Being told to take a look right now At our race leader's lap time, Payson Johnson did a 2:04.4 last time by. Are you kidding? He did a 2:03 in qualifying. He just did a 2:03.6. That's qualifying times right there. I wonder if he just outdid his qualifying time, actually. Let's go on board them for a lap and see if he can keep dropping his times down. This is insane right now. Oh, he tucks the front wheel, so we're not going to see a really strong lap here. But how's he do with a tucked front wheel still? He's probably going to put a lap time in faster than anybody else on the track still. You kidding me, though? 2:03.6. Nobody else in this 250 class ran sub 2:05.5 or 2:05.6, I think it was, actually, for qualifying. But Payson Johnson ran a 2:03.6 in qualifying and just did a 2:03.6 in the race. I don't get it. This is insane. On his way to potentially picking up his 5th moto win of the season already, extending his championship lead over Braden Carter. And he's already got, we're not even halfway into the moto, he's got a 22-second lead. If this is ever going to be one of those motos that they lap really deep into the field, this is going to be the only one that it's going to happen in, because Payson Johnson's going so much faster than anybody else on the track right now. It's quite unfair. I mean, this lap still looks like it's going to be really good. He made 2 really minor mistakes at the beginning. Tucked the front wheel and had to come to a complete stop in the first corner. Then actually missed the rut in the second corner. He's actually scrubbing LaRocco's leap every lap right now. Carrying so much speed in and out of every corner. And does a 2:06.2 with a myriad of mistakes. A 2:07.7 is Lang's best lap right now. And with a myriad of mistakes, Payson Johnson's still going faster than him. In fact, yeah, nobody else has run a 2:06.2 in this race. And he just did a 2:06.2, and it was a bad lap for him. Like, what? See if these guys run any better laps. 2:10.8. And Tanner Rogers coming down. Let's see what he runs. 2:10.5. 2:19.2 out of Hubbard. 2:10 dead out of Carter. I mean, not only did he run a 2:06, nobody else on this same lap is running within 4 seconds of him. That lead gap is just continuing to extend right now. I'm really curious to see. I'm not sure. We didn't see the beginning of this lap, but is he on another good one here? Could be to the point where he's just, all he's doing is running hot laps at this point because he knows he's got a big enough lead to not think about it. So we'll stick on board with him here for one more lap and see where his lap time is this time by and see if it's still crazy. Oh boy. I feel like this lap's looking pretty good. I'm curious what he did in the first half of the lap and still whether or not this is going to be a competitive lap time to his 2:03.6. Let's see. Oh, he tipped over at the finish line and just does another 2:06.2. Yeah, just casual. Anyway, Lang, he's moved up into second. Eaglin's still third. Hubbard is fourth. Siebel's now up into fifth. Braden Carter behind him in sixth. And in fact, since we were over halfway into the moto, it doesn't seem like there's a ton of battling going on right now. Let's do a quick top 20 rundown. This one's brought to you by the folks at Racetech Suspension, racetech.com. Head over there today to get your suspension or engine dialed in. They now are doing engines over there at Racetech. Get some patented gold valves for your suspension, feeling plusher and better all the while. Racetech.com, your one-stop shop over there for your suspension components and engine component needs. They are bringing you this top 20 rundown in which Payson Johnson on the Panini Motorsports number 351 continues to lead the race, whipping it sideways up the jump. Second place for Tyler Lang on the MV Films number 14. Probably feels like he's winning the moto because he's got the gap on P3 right now, but he's nowhere close to Payson Johnson, and that's just insane. P3, though, is Colby Eaglin on the Panini Motorsports number 24, your Moto number 1 winner, looking at a solid podium effort here today. Jacob Hubbard on the number 46 VlastimX.com machine runs in 4th, and let's stick here for a second because I think Seabolt's about to pass him. Seabolt was 19th in the first moto, dreadful second half of the race, and he's making amends for it right now as he goes up into P number 4. Actually, Hubbard trying to fight him back down the inside. And Seabolt looks like he's going to shut the door firmly on this one. Make that pass. Seabolt up to 4th. Hubbard back to 5th. Braden Carter's in 6th on the QM1 number 32. 2nd in the championship standings. 4th in the first moto. He's losing a lot of points today to Payson Johnson. 7th right now is Tanner Rogers on the 499 Mad Cape Yamaha. 8th for Luke Sullivan on the QM1 number 65 machine. 9th for Frank Jackson on the Veraco number 67. And 10th is Zoe Cross magic manning his way through the air on the MXLocker.com number 49. Logan Leitzel runs 11th on the number 18 Mad Cape machine. 12th for Casey Cochran on the BPC number 266. 13th goes to Tyron Tomic on the Connect Visual 311. 14th for Anton Anderson on the Burr Moto 204. 15th, Roy Mitchell on the Jack Daniels Racing number 25. Ahead of Jaden Wilson on the JDR number 720, and 16th, 17th for Cooper Hunt, VlastimX.com number 304. 18th right now is Dylan Love on the number 174 MXLocker.com machine. 19th for Reed Young on the Tegrity number, he's actually 43, I think, although he's running Kyle Robb's number 23 bike. It seems like everybody's doing that tonight, not sure why. He's actually 42, I apologize. And Dylan Cavacuti wraps up our top 20 here on the Takatoji number 177 machine. That has been a top 20 rundown brought to you by Racetech.com. All right, coming up to 20 minutes into the moto. Roy Mitchell putting some pressure here on Anton Anderson. Oh, Mitchell trying an inside move here. Is he still going to drive to do the leap? Wow, he does. First time I've seen a 250 not take the outside line and get the leap still. That's pretty incredible. Mitchell loses a touch of ground here in the last couple of corners. Tomic just made the move on Casey Cochran. Tomic trying to get away there from the 266 as Mitchell might have a side of the track lined up here. Oh, big crash. Anderson hits the deck. Jaden Wilson goes by. Cooper Hunt getting into the mix as well now behind Anderson. And Roy Mitchell trying to pass Casey Cochran with Tomic still just ahead of them. Oh, Tomic down. Cochran gets into him. So Mitchell and Jaden Wilson went by. And Cochran, cased in the uphill triple, almost got landed on by some lap traffic. Pretty close. So across still right behind Jeremy Seabolt. Seems like his magic manning has been sorted. And Logan Leitzel just ahead of these guys, so 3 riders battling it out right now for 9th. And Seabolt almost went down. Oh my goodness, how did Cross not hit Seabolt? Definitely pretty close, and now Cross blows the corner there at the bottom of the hill. So Seabolt has some breathing room. He's trying to go back after Leitzel just up the road of him. Tanner Rogers also right ahead of Leitzel. Frank Jackson putting in a solid top 10 effort right now. This is a good ride for Jackson on the number 67. We haven't seen much of him cruising inside of the top 10 this year. So I think for the time being, he's going to be satisfied with this result if it holds, but that's not going to help right there. He's going to be stuck on the finish line jump. There goes Rogers, Leitzel, and as he gets it righted, Siebold has already gone by as well. And now Leitzel just got around Rogers, and Siebold right back on the 499 as well. So Leitzel dropping down the hill right there in front of Tanner Rogers. Let's peek back out front and see what's going on. Payson Johnson still has a sizable lead. Tyler Lang sitting in second. Colby Eaglin in third. Carter fourth. And Hubbard in fifth right now. So the top five pretty well separated. Luke Sullivan up in sixth. Seventh for Leitzel. Eighth, Rogers. Ninth, Frank Jackson. So Cross is in 10th right behind him. Siebold back to 11th. Jaden Wilson 12th. Roy Mitchell just got hopped over by Tyron Tomich for 13th. Casey Cochran. Cooper Hunt. Not a ton going on back here. There's not really any close battles. Everybody's just kind of in their zones, it seems. So let's go back on board with Payson Johnson and see what it's like to run through some of either lap traffic or maybe put in another hot lap. .27-second lead for Payson Johnson, so he's pretty comfortably on his way to the victory here. Coming up on 25 minutes into the moto, so he's only got 5 more minutes and a couple laps left to deal with. And he will go 2-1 here today at Redbud to claim the overall victory. So it'll be his second overall victory of the season. 1-1 at WW Ranch, then he went 3-1 at High Point to Braden Carter's 1-2, so Carter picked up the overall there. Then Siebold went 2-2 last week at Southwick, while Payson Johnson had a horrendous second moto after winning the first moto. So once again, finally, Johnson putting 2 very clean, solid motos together. And if not for Trent Shepard jumping the leap on top of him in the first moto, Johnson might be looking at another 1-1 sweep of the motos here. Never know. He still was going to have to actually pass Eaglin on that last lap, so we will never know for sure. But I can't imagine Payson Johnson's going to be too thrilled about how that situation turned out. But he will be excited to pick up the overall win here today. Like I said, his second career overall victory, which is also the second of the season, and extend his championship lead. By how much? Not quite sure yet. He opened up another 4 points on Braden Carter in the first moto, so he's got a 5-point lead provisionally at the moment in the championship. So we'll have to see where Carter ends up in this one to see where the championship shakes down. Oh, but now Johnson just went down again. So the track's getting a little bit rougher, and Johnson making some mistakes here late. Tyler Lang still just about 5 seconds ahead of Eagland. Carter back here in the 4 spot, so he might go 4-4 today, which is not terrible. But when you're trying to win a championship and your nearest rival goes 2-1 ahead of you, it doesn't help the case at all. So Johnson's lead has settled in. Jacob Hubbard, a couple good motos here. He was leading earlier on. He's 5th again. Logan Leitzel's charged all the way up to 6th. This is a pretty good ride for Leitzel. He got 2 awful starts today and has done nothing but charge forward the entire race. Although now he's going to go down and cough up a spot. Luke Sullivan's going to go by. And Leitzel, wow, he's on the other side of the track. This is going to be interesting to see how he gets up because there's riders coming, just gets going before they get there. And looks like he only lost a spot in the end to Sullivan. Tanner Rogers, his teammate, was not quite able to get there. And Frank Jackson still inside of the top 10 with 9th right now. He'll be excited about this result, no doubt. Seabolt, 19-10 after winning Southwick last week with 2-2 scores. This is going to be a big one that we'll look back when Seabolt's trying to claw his way back into the top 3 in the championship down the stretch, that we'll look back on as one that definitely got away from him. He was inside of the top 5 both motos and crashed his way all the way back to these positions. Zoe Cross just went down in 11th. And is that Trevor Spencer also going down? But he's lapped down. Is that Lewis Williams, perhaps, actually? Jaden Wilson. A couple good motos here for the 720 machine. Just got to try to bring it home. Down to the final minute on the clock before time will expire, and we'll only have 2 laps to go here in 250 moto number 2 from Redbud. Wilson down the inside gets Cross before they take off from the tabletop. Can Cross fight back as he tries to peek down the inside. Seabolt's actually caught up to Frank Jackson, and Leitzel has dropped back to these guys a little bit now. So this could be a good battle down the stretch as they are trying to fight for some good top 10 positions here. Frank Jackson, I think, just wants to finish top 10, but been mixing it up with these guys this entire race, and now he's going to go around Leitzel, so that's another position. I believe that moves him up to 8th. Seabolt jumps on his back and then goes down. That's going to be a benefactor for Jackson, who's now not going to have to deal with immediate pressure from Seabolt or Logan Leitzel. Tanner Rogers up ahead of him. Luke Sullivan, Hubbard, Carter, Eaglin, Lang, and Payson Johnson. So I think 2-lap board just went out for Payson Johnson. And let's see, where has he... It's not that far out front, so I don't know if he's lapped up as far as we expected him to maybe do so. Yeah, actually looks like Dylan Cavacuti still is on the lead lap in 17th. So P18 has been put a lap down by our race leader, Payson Johnson. Oh, Colby Eaglin's catching Tyler Lang a little bit here. With only a couple laps still to go. It'd be a big move for Eaglin if he can get around Lang. And in the end of the day, he would actually tie for the overall win with Payson Johnson. However, tiebreaker goes to the better second moto finish, which, of course, Johnson out front right now winning the moto. So he would get the tiebreaker and win the overall. But I still think Eaglin just wants the at least kind of moniker that he matched Payson Johnson today. And Eaglin, not a guy that usually gets good starts, to be fair. Got some horrendous starts already in the national and GP campaigns that he's raced in this season. Always seems like he's fighting back from those bad starts, but this time, hole shot the first moto, inside of the top 5 in the second moto, and is just kind of held steady in these positions. So I think even if he doesn't win the overall, he's going to have to be pretty happy about his day. Going 1-3, potentially, maybe even 1-2. I know I certainly would take it. The only time I ever won a moto in this game, 450 Moto 1, Budds Creek back in 2014, and I followed it up with a 13th. So I would have much rather appreciated a third or a second, even if I didn't win the overall. White flag out for Johnson out front, though, and these guys are about to get the white flag as well. Lang seems to have kind of managed that gap back to a level position of Eaglin behind him. Eaglin, of course, going to try to give it everything he can, and he's got enough of a gap to not worry about what's going on behind him. As Braden Carter comes over the finish line jump, Jacob Hubbard right here, following him through. Luke Sullivan, a good ride. Tanner Rogers, Logan Leitzel, Frank Jackson. Not a ton of battling in this second moto. Not quite like what we saw in the first moto as Leitzel just went down, so Frank Jackson's going to pick up another spot. And Tomic might get Leitzel as well because he's going to get the leap. Leitzel is going to go for it as well, but he's short. Definitely cased it, so Tomic goes by. Back out front, though. This is going to be Payson Johnson's day here at Redbud. Winner of the first round of the season. 1-1 performance at WW Ranch, and he has kept the red plate every single moto since. Although that was definitely up in the air after a horrendous second moto at Southwick last week. But he has responded emphatically today here at Redbud. Should have probably won the first moto. We'll just keep that in our back pocket with a nice big whip over the Larocco's leap. It's going to be a 2-1 performance on the day. He's going to extend his championship lead, and the Redbud National goes to Payson Johnson as he crosses the finish line jump, well and truly winning that second moto fairly easily. Eaglin definitely did get this pretty close to Lang, but Lang is going to hold on for second. In the end, 1.7 seconds over Eaglin was the gap. Braden Carter going to go 4-4 on the day, which means in this moto alone, he lost 7 more points in the championship, so he's looking at a 12-point deficit. Not exactly what he was hoping for. So comes across the finish line, jump backwards because he missed it the first time. Jacob Hubbard is not going to do the leap the last lap, but a couple really solid scores here for the VlastMX.com 46 machine. 5th for him. Luke Sullivan looks like he's pretty solid here in 6th. Tanner Rogers going to get 7th. Frank Jackson might get 8th here. He's ahead of Tomic. Tyron Tomic trying to get some good points here as well. Oh, Jackson went down. Tomic is going to get 8th then. Can Frank Jackson still get a top 10? Jaden Wilson's coming down here. Jackson's going to get going. He's still in 10th. Tanner Rogers crosses in 7th. And Tomic was down at the bottom of the hill, so Jaden Wilson's going to hit him as they get together on the leap. Frank Jackson passes them both and goes back into 8th. Jaden Wilson's getting going before Tyron Tomic, and Rogers jumps over, or I'm sorry, Leitzel jumps over top of them. Jackson with a really solid effort here is going to pick up 8th. Logan Leitzel gets a gift of all gifts to get 9th, and Jaden Wilson's going to wrap up a top 10 here in Moto 2. Tomic and Wilson coming together on the leap on the last lap drops him to 11th. 20th in the first moto for Casey Cochran. He's going to come through and get 12th in the second moto. Good ride for the 266 ride there. Zoe Cross looking to get 13th. He's going to get it, no problem. Jeremy Siebold, 14th. A week after winning the Southwick National, he's going to go 19-14 here at Redbud. Nowhere close to what he was hoping to get, and that's actually going to be 15th because Roy Mitchell actually crossed the line 14th. I missed it. Dylan Cavacuti was going to be 16th in this one, 17th for Cooper Hunt, 18th for Reed Young, 19th for Ethan Gerst, and 20th Riley Hewen as we wait for a couple more people to finish to get some cuts. See whether or not these positions change. Hewen only beat Felix Anderson by 1/10 of a second to the finish line, so he may be in danger of losing this last points paying position. So we're waiting for one guy to, there it is, over the line. And Hewen does hold on to it. And it looks like Zoa Cross lost a spot to Roy Mitchell on cuts. Mitchell ends up 13th. And that was it. Payson Johnson, your winner here at Redbud in the 250 class. All right, folks, we're going to head to a very quick commercial break, so don't touch that URL bar. We are not going off the air. We'll just be right back on the other side of this break. You're watching the 2020 Ride365.com Nationals Round 4 at Redbud.
We turn our backs, we can't help, we're gone. This is our identity.
Inside lane, missing exits, glued to the pavement. Between the lines, I keep my gaze straight ahead as the last stop flies by. No more waiting for the gun to fire. No more walking through revolving doors. I've gone around once, I don't need to go around anymore. Break away, forget your sober case. Stop dwelling on empty words. Stop stalling in the doorway. And cancel the cruise control. Switch it in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right? Setbacks, you can't win them all, but I'm proud I tried. I'm glad we had a dialogue. It's good to shape the mind. Stop stalling in the doorway and cancel the cruise control. Switching in the manual. Don't you wanna feel right again? Don't you wanna feel whole? Don't you wanna feel?
Oh, the exact same lap time here for Adam Holm. Sorry for that, folks. I was muted. Definitely hit the microphone button and then pressed it again, I guess. So Adam Holm, 2:02.203, and Bryce Whelan, 2:02.203. The exact same lap time as the rest of the runners. Alexis Leclerc, 2:02.718. Jack Haley, 2:03 flat, and Walter Gebhardt on a 2:03.2. Oh my gosh, guys, I feel like you don't realize that one person has to say I'm muted, and then I know I'm muted, so I unmuted myself. Goodness. All right, so here's some of the runners down the order a little bit that are going to be in this consolation race. Bradley Clay, Alex Cunningham, Trevor Schaefer, Eduardo Simos, Aaron Rockefeller. Outside looking in, Braden Castellaneta would have been the last runner to get in with that 2:08.5. So guys just missing out by 1/10 of a second there. Bradley Clay, unfortunate for him, he is going to have to go to that consolation race. But before we do that, let's go ahead and take a quick look at what happened at our last round at Southwick, which was Alexis Leclerc taking the win with a 1-2. Jack Haley went 3-1 to keep the points gap close there. Only 2 points gained there for Leclerc on the evening. Colton Mitchell went 2-4 for third. Adam Holm, Walter Gebhardt rounding out the top 5 there. But if we look at our 450 standings, it is actually Jack Haley with the points lead, a 4-point lead on Alexis Leclerc. Leclerc picking up the win, obviously, last week, closed up some points just a little bit there, but still a manageable gap for Haley out front. And then, not to be deterred there, is Colton Mitchell in third on 120 points. Walter Gebhardt on 113 points. We still have very close top of the table here, 21 points in between the top 4 in the standings. So this is going to be a really good battle to watch here tonight, and that is why we're going to have some fun. We're going to jump in game, and of course we're going to get things started off with this consolation race, which I'm going to have to load back into real fast. See if they already got started or not. Doesn't appear to be so. Yeah, they're on their warm-up lap still. And let's see how many people are in this. They're going to load the list again. There we go. 14 riders in this consi. Cunningham, Schaefer, Simos, Rockefeller, Holm, Bear, Dickerson, Ty, Wells, Hoffman, L, Wisdowski, Jones, and Ferreira are lining up in this one. And, of course, 4 laps. Top 4 going to transfer through to the motos. All other runners will be headed somewhere else. Maybe they come watch the stream. Maybe they go back to the semi. Who knows what they're going to do. But only 4 of these guys go through, so who are they going to be? Let's find out right now as we're off and running here at Redbud. Consolation race is a go. Someone looped out a little bit. Rockefeller on the 800. Whole shot. Or is it? No. Braden L beats him out of the corner, so Rockefeller settles into second. It's Braden L with the whole shot and early lead. Rockefeller's right there, and it's actually a pretty clean start for a consolation race, to be fair, although now we have somebody going down in second place. Almost went down. That was Alex Cunningham dropping down the hill. Ian Holm right up in here. Isaiah Dickerson is in this consolation race. Wow, that's interesting. I also believe Austin Jones, I should say, 2011 outdoor champion is in this one. Somewhere back there, I think. But Dickerson going to get around. 93 of Ian Holm. And, mistake there for Rockefeller. Ian Holm, Travis Hoffman, Austin Bear, Trevor Schaefer. There is Austin Jones, as I mentioned. The first ever Race Factory Gaming champion, Austin Jones, the 2011, I think it was called the Motorsport.com Nationals back then. Obviously, Ride365.com now the title sponsor of the series. But Austin Jones, one of the true OGs of this game. Still Bradenell leading, though. Rockefeller, Simos, and Dickerson coming down the hill. Some heavy hitters in this Consi. Through the rollers they go. Dickerson almost went down. So Simos got around Rockefeller, and then, oh boy, Dickerson has got a lot of people right behind him. Hoffman, Austin Bear on the 94 coming into the mix, and they're going to the inside, and Bear goes down. 93 of Ian Holm. Trevor Schaefer's also in there. And Rockefeller did not get the leap, and somehow Holm didn't go down landing on him. Schaefer bounced off of him as well. Man, that was crazy. But it allows a couple people to slide on through. So resetting it, it's Bradenell, Simos, Dickerson, and Travis Hoffman now in the final transfer spot, but he has Ian Holm and Trevor Schaefer right behind him. Hoffman doing a good job right now to keep them both at bay, but Ian Holm gets a great drive down the hill. Let's see if he pulls up alongside of him. Not quite just yet. Definitely putting some pressure on the 722, though. And he's going to have a peek down the inside. Can't quite show him a wheel just yet there, though. Hoffman tripling up the hill. Still has Ian Holm right there. Oh, contact. Holm down. Hoffman got stood up in the corner, so Trevor Schaefer is going to try to get them both. And he moves into that final transfer spot. But then blows the corner at the bottom of the hill, so Hoffman's going to take it right back away from him. And looks like Dickerson has gone to the lead over Simos. Bradenell drops back to third, but all eyes on this battle for the final transfer spot right now. Actually, there is Bradenell. Oh, Schaefer inside of Hoffman gets into fourth. And there's Dickerson, and now Simos getting righted. What is going on here? So Schaefer still is in fourth for the time being. Dickerson has dropped back into... No, he's still leading the race. So this is all four, our top four, nose to tail right here. Dickerson, Bradenell, Eduardo Simos, Trevor Schaefer, Travis Hoffman, first man out, but he is right there. And these guys are all available for the picking. And Dickerson just went off the track around the outside, I believe. Yeah, he's down. Isaiah Dickerson down off the edge of the track. So he coughs up the lead, and that puts Bradenell back to the front. Simos, Schaefer, and now Hoffman goes into the final transfer spot. Ian Holm still lurking right there. Alex Cunningham trying to make it in as well. He's going to cut up underneath of Ian Holm. Oh, don't come together. Dickerson's gets going behind these guys. Whoa! Alex Cunningham shutting the door hard, and Ian Holm drives it in deep, and then Dickerson runs into the back of Cunningham and tips over, gets back up though, and Ian Holm now gets passed by Cunningham. They're still right on Travis Hoffman, which is still the final transfer spot. He's lost some time now to Trevor Schaefer, so the top three getting away a little bit. Alex Cunningham trying to get in there. Oh, almost into the back of Hoffman. And now almost went down, so Ian Holm peeks up the inside of him. They're both going to roll into this section, launching from the outside, though. That was... Oh, Ian Holm gets together there with Alex Cunningham, and they both go down, so Dickerson gets through. Ian Holm is not going to be too happy with Alex Cunningham right now. An aggressive move by Cunningham. Initially got him into the position. And now they just made contact in the air, so Holm trying to defend the inside. Keep Cunningham behind him. But it doesn't really matter. They can get mad at each other all they want. They're both out of transfer now. As Dickerson now onto the back of Hoffman. Oh, Hoffman shuts the door. Dickerson crosses back. Dooley's? Dooley's kind of. Oh, Hoffman yard sale. And Hoffman OJing. The table goes down. Braden L has to slide through. There's Rockefeller. So what is it? It's Simmons, Schaefer, Dickerson now, actually. And Leon Ty moving into the final transfer spot. The It's LXON Production.com number 131 moving into P4. Can he hold off Aaron Rockefeller, Braden L, and Alex Cunningham charging up from behind as the white flag is about to wave? Leon Ty trying to hold on, and I believe try to make it into the 450 motos for the first time in his career. He's got to hold off a hard charging Aaron Rockefeller, though. Oh, Ty goes down. Oh, he stays up, though. Got to be careful. There comes Cunningham. So Rockefeller moves into the final transfer spot. And Rockefeller now goes down. Cunningham, oh, he clips him in the head, but still able to make it by. Braden L trying to get around Leon Ty for 5th. And he goes down. So Cunningham is in the final transfer spot. He's just got to have a solid final lap here. Leon Ty trying to move back up and get into that position, though. Maybe hoping that Cunningham has a big one. Cunningham riding smooth, though. Simo still with the lead. Half a second ahead of Dickerson. Dickerson's trying to charge up, and he almost just went down. Trevor Schaefer looks to be safe. So all eyes on this battle right now. Cunningham trying to hold off Leon Ty for 4th. And to me, it looks like it's going to come down to a crash for Cunningham if it's going to be Ty in. And there it is. Cunningham down. Cunningham swaps and hits the deck. Leon Ty to the inside, goes on through. So now Leon Ty has to tighten the sphincter here for 6 more corners, and he's into the motos. Can the 131 do it? Rockefeller got around Cunningham. Dickerson trying to get by Simmons for the lead, and he goes down. So Schaefer goes through in a second. Dickerson's going to get going before Leon Ty gets there. Rockefeller and Alex Cunningham are flying, but Rockefeller just went down. So Leon Ty literally just needs to get the leap clean, and he'll probably be okay. So here he goes up the leap one more time. Simmons has won. Dickerson almost hit Leon Ty because he's going backwards. He's going to get jumped over by Alex Cunningham for the final transfer spot. Dickerson is going to be out of the motos and not make it through as Leon Ty goes to the motos for the first time in his career. Cunningham goes through in the final transfer spot. Rockefeller and Dickerson both miss out. What the heck just happened? Ian Holm also not going through. Austin Jones. Jeremy Wisdowski. Neil Wells doing a little bit of a barrel roll there. Braden L., Travis Hoffman, Austin Bear all rage quitting from this one. Austin Jones comes across 8th. Wisdowski coming to the line here. He'll be 9th. Let's see. Nothing changed on cuts. Everything stays the same. So confirmed. Cunningham, Ty, Schaefer, Simo is going through to the motos. Didn't see Isaiah Dickerson just disconnects, doesn't say anything about his performance there. Whoop, sorry for that. man, that was interesting to say the least. Dickerson absolutely threw that one away late. So Simos, Schaefer, Ty, and Cunningham going through to the motos. And now we wait for a little bit here. As the scripts get loaded. So what the heck? Why don't I try to spin a lap or two? I already did half a lap before, so let me just go to the other half of the track and try to get some riding in here. Oh, that's not going to be good. Oh, man, I suck. Just trying to get to the leap before Jeremy Cohen ever restarts the server. Ah, too far. I thought I was going to maybe bring that one back. Thank you, Jordan Kester. Appreciate it. I didn't get to the leap. Effort says, so the U.S. announced they won't be sending a team to the MXON this year. Do you think there's even going to be an MXON this year? And if there is, do you think more countries pull out? I don't think there's going to be a Motocross of Nations, so I'm not that mad about the U.S. news. If there was definitely going to be one, I think it's really stupid for the AMA to already rule out a team, because I know that people hate this idea, but dude, you can put Covington and Mitchell Harrison and pick somebody else on the team, and it's still a decent team. It's not the worst team you're sending to the Motocross of Nations, and they already are in Europe. So to me, I don't get why that was already ruled out as like, well, we're not going to send the GP guys. Like, that's so stupid. They would do fine. It'd be okay. The U.S. wouldn't win, but they probably weren't going to win this year anyway, to be honest with you. I think that some teams out there are too good right now, in my opinion, for the USA to win. So because of that, if there was going to be an actual Motocross of Nations, I think that the AMA pulling out this fast was stupid, but I don't think there's going to be a Motocross of Nations, so I'm okay with it. I think it's a little overzealous of Ustream to think that they're going to be able to put one on, because just too many riders are going to back out, too many teams are going to back out. So, but yeah, I mean, it sucks, but it's just a situation we're in. Well, so Mitchell Harrison, yeah, he can't race the GPs yet, but I mean, at some point he's going to probably go back to Europe. He's got to fulfill his Bud contract. So when this either clears out a little bit or the restrictions from the EU relinquish a little bit, at some point Mitchell Harrison is going back to Europe this year. It's not just like he's going to disappear and never do a GP again this season. As of right now, the EU is not letting him in, but that's not going to be the case in a month from now, probably. Like, this thing changes every day, so. Anyway. Nathan Tunnel dropping $3 off. He says, can you say Moto Sun sucks and is slow? Moto Sun sucks and is slow. Got it. Done. Thanks for the $3. All right, 450 Moto number 1 is going to get on the gate. And they're going to do a parade lap while I keep loading in. Loading, loading, loading in. Taking forever to load on in. Oh, man, I hate how long it takes to load in. All right, there we go. All right, folks. 450 moto number 1 about to get lined up on the gate. My cameras are having a quick aneurysm. Oh boy, this is going to be good. Are you guys excited? Come on, folks, get excited. Stand up, cheer for your favorite person, if you have one. If you don't, pick a favorite person who you want to root for in this race. And in general, just get excited because 450 Moto number 1 is coming to you live right here on Start Your Systems. And we'll be bringing you the action all night long. Everybody getting lined up on the gate. JLV's holding that 30 board proud. Who's going to get the ATE Studios Whole Shot Award here tonight as JLV turns that board sideways, moonwalks his way off the track. It's the Red Bud National live on Start Your Systems. Let's drop the gate in the 450 class. Oh, immediate contact in the background. 2 riders go down, and a lot of people coming together in the first corner. A big crash on the outside. Chase Blakely, I think, may have gone down on the inside to start that. Leclerc, whole shot, just ahead there. Jack Haley, red plate, he got a good start as well. 83 of Peter Likes up there. Bryce Whelan on the 34's got a good start as well, and he moves Leclerc out of the way to take over the lead. Whelan to the front. Haley's trying to follow suit in a second as Leclerc has to battle in, and Haley's going to pass Leclerc around the outside to move into second as Whelan has taken the lead. So it's Whelan, it is Haley, it's Leclerc, Brandon Holmes up here, Peter Like with a good start, Walter Gebhardt near the front. He goes around the outside of Peter Like to move up. He's trying to keep pace here with Haley and Leclerc as Haley has opened up a small gap there on Leclerc for a moment, and Whelan continues to lead the race. Bryce Whelan, the Panini Motorsports number 34. Haley, a big swap in the background. Oh, that was gnarly that Haley corralled that together, but Whelan is starting to stretch this thing out. Haley and Leclerc. Jack Haley. I'll tell you what, in GPs, Jack Haley, who is number 6, runs his number 2 gear most of the time. Now, in the Nationals, he's number 2 in the U.S. Series. He runs number 6 on his back, but at least he's running his bike skins. I'm just happy to see some bike skins on Haley. I was really nervous earlier tonight when Roy Mitchell's skins weren't loaded, but still kind of funny there. Bryce Whelan's going to lead this first lap, folks. He is flying right now. So up to the finish line jump here. Bryce Whelan, lap 1 in the books. It is Whelan from Haley, Leclerc, Gebhardt inside of the top 4. Holmes is in 5th. 6th, Magnetti. 7th, Adam Holmes got a good start. Kevin Gonzalez, Armstrong, Holgerson, Joseph Pilsner alongside Daniel Mills, Robert Wilson. Here comes Thomas Wilcox, Schaefer, Davis, Copeland, Kelleher, Fjellberg, Simos, Deering, Eklund, Smith, Castellaneta, Cohenauer, Like, Blakely, Pachone, Leon Tai, Ohashi, Stanley, Speck, Garrett, Wisdom, and Colt Mitchell is absolutely buried right now. Matthias Lidman, Logan Heagney, Alex Cunningham, Cole Gress, Trevor Burns. I can't believe how far down the order Colt Mitchell is. Sitting 3rd in the championship standings. That's the last thing he needed. Jack Haley looks like he's already closing up to the back here. Bryce Whelan. They're starting to lose touch a little bit with Leclerc, and Haley likes this inside line down here. Interesting that the 450 guys look like they're going to get that line a little bit more developed than the 250 guys could do. So does Haley try to get by Whelan as fast as possible and get the heck out of there? One of the few rounds this season Leclerc has not qualified fastest. So maybe he's just not feeling the track tonight, which is good news for Haley as he is riding really strong right now behind Whelan already. And Leclerc is starting to lose a little bit of touch with them. Walter Gebhardt trying to keep them honest as well. But you're looking at 1, 2, 4 in the standings, sitting 2, 3, 4 in the race. Colt Mitchell 3rd in the championship standings, well down the order. Adam Holm 5th in the championship standings. He's got a pretty good start. And they're all being led right now by Bryce Whelan. Whelan on the number 34 Panini Motorsports. Trying to make it a clean sweep tonight for Panini. As Colby Eagland on the Panini Motorsports machine won the first 250 moto. His teammate, Payson Johnson, won the second moto and the overall in the 250 class. And now Bryce Whelan comes right out of the gates, puts another Panini Kawasaki out front in the 450 division. And he's actually doing a pretty good job to keep these guys at bay. We've lost Leclerc, and Leclerc falls behind Magnetti, in between Magnetti and Adam Holm. Brandon Holmes on the 62 also mixed in here as Leclerc goes down the inside of Magnetti. Magnetti on the 107 around the outside trying to fight back, and he'll hold that spot. Adam Holm trying to get into the mix here as they drop down the hill. And Leclerc around the outside of Magnetti. A good pass there. Not sure what happened to the 107, but he didn't get that corner sized up just right. And now Leclerc trying to put the moves on Brandon Holmes here. Down the inside. This might be the pass for Leclerc. And it is. He's going to make that pass stick on Brandon Holmes. So it is still Whelan from Haley, Gebhardt, and now Leclerc up into fourth. Holmes is in fifth. Magnetti back here in sixth, right ahead of Adam Holm. Seventh is Holm, I should say. And eighth is Armstrong. Ninth, Daniel Mills. And 10th, Jacob Holgerson. Gonzalez, Wilcox, Davis. I want to go back because everybody's asking where Moto-Sun is. He's riding a 2006 KTM 252 stroke here tonight. Just heard him go by, I think. Somewhere over here. Where is he? I heard the two-stroke. Is he already further up the road here? Yeah, he is. Wow, he's actually in a pretty good position. Joseph Pilsner. Look at this. What position is he in? He's in 14th. Riding a 252 stroke. SwapMotoLive.com, hashtag free Smidley. That is an old bike he is on right there. Has to go all the way to the outside to get the leap, and because of that, he's going to get passed. But still holding strong right now. Good job, Moto-Sun. And Haley's gone to the lead. Jack Haley has taken over the lead, so we've lost Whelan. Gebhardt's still second. Whelan's dropped all the way back to fourth. And it must have happened just after the finish line because he did a 2:04.3. And then somewhere in the first couple corners, he's dropped all the way back to the 4 spot here. Oh, Leclerc just got a little wayward in front of Whelan. And they're going to go bar to bar, dualies up the hill. And I have a beverage in hand, so I'll just go ahead and take a sip to that, folks. Leclerc moves back up into third. And Whelan settles back into fourth. We got a good three-rider battle going for fifth, though. It's led by Brandon Holmes. Luke Magnetti is in the mix there in sixth. And Adam Holm is in seventh. Magnetti putting in a really good ride here on the 107. Been impressed with him. He has slowly been improving his skill set to a position where he can actually fight for these top 5 or so positions. Adam Holm trying to peek down the inside. Oh, Holmes does a little 360, and Adam Holm goes by for both positions there, taking full advantage of everybody kind of stacking up in the corner. Yeah, is Haley going to come through? Let's do a lap time check real quick. Haley 2:05.4, but a 2:03.4 was his best. Walter Gebhardt a 2:05.5. He just did a 2:06.1. 2:04.2 out of Leclerc. 2:04 dead is his best. And a 2:03.2 is the best out of Whelan, but he just did a 2:14.7 after crashing that last time by. Adam Holm lays down a 2:06.9, a 2:08.7 for Magnetti, 2:12.5 Brandon Holmes, 2:06.3 Daniel Mills, a 2:08.9 out of James Armstrong, and a 2:08.8 out of Kevin Gonzalez. As down the inside, Thomas Wilcox trying to get in there. Jacob Holgerson, and oh, Wilcox went down, just missed it. He was hidden by the banners. So where is Colton Mitchell? Here he is, running in 21st. He just did a 2:07.4, and he just moved into the points now. He's 19th. But this is not exactly what Colton Mitchell was hoping to do. Sitting only 14 points down in the championship to Jack Haley, and Haley obviously leading the race right now, while Mitchell circulates down in 19th. He's going to have a long road ahead of him to try to make some passes up. Trying to catch up to our man Moto-san here on that 252 stroke. Mitchell putting so much pressure right now on the back of Joseph Pilsner, and just listen to that sweet two-stroke sound. There's a good power difference example right there as Colton Mitchell just powers around the outside of Joseph Pilsner. On the move now up to 18th. Got some good battles going in here. Deering and Pachone. Fjellberg back there with Holgerson battling it out. Chase Blakely kind of all alone behind Thomas Wilcox. James Armstrong is trying to catch up to Daniel Mills. Kevin Gonzalez also somewhat all alone behind Devin Davis. Luke Magnetti. Brandon Holmes. Adam Holm. Bryce Whelan still all over Alexis Leclerc right now. And it's actually turning into a bit of a three-rider battle as they've almost caught back up to Gebhardt again. And Whelan has just come here to play, I'll tell you what. Trying to pull up alongside Leclerc. Leclerc almost doesn't know what hit him. This is one of those uncharacteristic nights where Leclerc just doesn't look like he's quite as frisky as he normally is, and around the outside Whelan might make a pass. No, Leclerc shuts the door and Whelan goes down. Whelan a little bit too much speed on quarter entry, loses the front, and Leclerc now has third all to himself as he continues to try to run down Walter Gebhardt ahead of him. Still Jack Haley leading though, 11, almost 12 minutes into this thing. JDR number 2, the points leader by 4 points on Leclerc. And this is really turning into quite a championship battle we're going to have, because Leclerc, unlike in the GP scene, has someone that is giving him fits here every week. And if Haley's able to come through and win this title, it's actually going to be the first time since 2017 that an entire season has gone by in North America Motocross and Supercross championships without Leclerc claiming a championship. Of course, we still have a lot of time left in this season, so that is a lofty statement at this point. But Leclerc obviously losing the indoor title to Jeremy Seabolt. And Jack Haley now trying to dethrone the defending champion out of France. Oh, Gebhardt, a mistake, allows Leclerc through. And the Rockstar Husky rider moves up into second. So it's still Haley, Leclerc, Gebhardt, Whelan inside the top 4. Adam Holm is quietly sneaking into the picture, though. What's his lap times looking like? 2:04.8. Of course, remember, Holm was your fastest qualifier. Let's go on board with him here for a minute and see what it looks like. He just moved into 4th because Whelan was off the track, and he's putting Leon Tai a lap down here. So what can Adam Holm do in terms of closing these gaps down. He's looked like a new man this week as well. He was extremely fast in the GPs. Unfortunately, not able to pick up an overall win there, but led a lot of the racing back over in Germany. And now putting some solid stuff together here in Moto 1 with some good lap times, competitive lap times. And looking like he has figured out whatever was missing on the magical recipe for him. I believe he's probably gone back to third person, no? I think that would probably be the biggest thing that's kind of changed in his program, because he tried so hard to learn first person for Supercross, and Leclerc just cops up third. So Adam Holm goes up into third. Now 4.7 seconds behind Gebhardt still, but in third. And he lays down a 2:06.1. So Leclerc drops back to fourth now. He's still just ahead of Whelan. But the top five kind of spreading apart now from Brandon Holmes. Luke Magnetti's still up here. Kevin Gonzalez is lagging hard right there in front of Daniel Mills. Mills goes around the outside of Gonzalez and just moves on by him. Devin Davis back here. Davis just trying to keep these guys close ahead of him. Really not a ton going on right now, so probably a good time. Oh, Haley was down, and Gebhardt goes to the lead. Just as I was about to say we should do a top 20 rundown, and suddenly we have a change for the lead here. Adam Holm has moved up to third. Bryce Whelan is now fourth ahead of Leclerc. Leclerc has lost a lot of time down in fifth, but Jack Haley coughs up the lead here just past the halfway point of the moto. And has to go back to work trying to reel in Walter Gebhardt ahead of him. Ooh, somebody flipping off the screen there. And they're both going to avoid him. Not sure. That was perhaps a Tiger Designs rider, maybe? Looked like Fox Gear on a KTM. Maybe it was Kyle Carpenter back there or something like that. Gebhardt leads away from Haley, though. Have to imagine that Haley's going to try to reel him back in as fast as possible and get this lead back away, though. No chance that he wants to lose more points to Leclerc in the grand scheme of things. If Leclerc is going to finish fourth in this moto, Haley will want to win this one really badly and gain as many points as he possibly can. Gebhardt doing a good job to kind of sneak away from him, though. So looking a lot like the Gebhardt we saw at High Point. Not quite the same Gebhardt at Southwick, but that was more or less just starts. Walter Gebhardt could not get a start at Southwick. This time around, got a good start in this one, and still leads away from Haley. Big mistake there, though. Haley down the inside, gets the lead back just like that. Just takes one small bobble. And suddenly the positions change just like that as Haley reassumes the race lead here on lap number 9, 18 minutes into this one. Only 12 minutes and a couple laps left to go, and this battle continues to rage on. Riders down in the main line. Gebhardt down. Oh, Gebhardt tried to avoid some downed riders and jumps the ruts, goes down, so that moves Adam Holm up to second. Gebhardt going to get going just as Bryce Whelan, his teammate, gets there, and Leclerc continuing to lose time down in fifth. He's lost a lot of ground, actually, nowhere near the battle of the front four, and losing some more valuable time back to the battle for fifth and sixth behind him. So interesting how this is shaping up here, but Haley has reassumed the race lead, and as we are now clicking on the lap number 10. We're almost 19 minutes into this thing. Let us do a very quick top 20 rundown. This one's brought to you by the folks at Ride365.com, title sponsor of the Ride365.com Nationals in 2020, bringing you guys all the action all year long. Big shout out to them, and head over to Ride365.com today to check out all their gear, components, hard parts, UTV components, other things like that. They got a lot of stuff over there that you can check out, get you dialed in. Ride365.com today is where you want to go pick up all your stuff. Jack Haley leads. Jack Daniels Racing, number 2, has just reassumed the race lead. He's your points leader, and he's leading the race. Pretty much exactly the ideal scenario for him. Only thing that would make it better is if Leclerc started losing more positions, because behind him, Adam Holm has moved into second on the 8tom.com, number 17, and he is starting to reel in Haley ever so slightly as he's looking to pick up his first win of 2020. Walter Gebhardt on the Panini Motorsports number 5 sits in third now. He just crashed away the lead, but he's still in a really good position here, just ahead of his teammate Bryce Whelan on the number 34. Fifth now is Alexis Leclerc, the Rockstar Husky, defending champion on the number 1 machine, has dropped back here after running up front early, so he's having some crash problems tonight. Never a good sign to see out of the Frenchman. Luke Magnetti back here on the 107 BPC machine. Holds down 6th, a great ride for him so far. Ahead of Kevin Gonzalez on the number 33 Takatoji ride as he's chasing him down. And Brandon Holmes right behind him there in 8th on the rival decal number 62. And Daniel Mills, actually just got passed by Colton Mitchell. Colton Mitchell has got into the mix here. Look at number 6 go, making up a lot of spots. He just moved up into 9th around D Mills on the Panini Motorsports number 6, and he might have a couple more positions ahead of him. Magnetti, I think that just went off the track. It was, and he's trying to get around Holmes, not able to get it yet, but Magnetti just went down, so Mitchell moves up to 8th. He's now right behind Brandon Holmes, so we got Mills 9th, Magnetti 10th, Ash Deering, BPC, number 20 is in 11th. Number 21, his teammate Chase Blakely is in 12th. 13th for Devin Davis on the Takatoji number 30. 14th for Thomas Wilcox on the C4 Designs TMFR number 27. 15th, Jacob Holgerson, Pre-moto 4FF number 503. Good to see the Swede out here doing some good jobs tonight. And the motos, Anthony Pachone, the Spink number 127, just moved around a lapped rider actually. So he's still 16th. 17th, Austin Eklund, Odyssey MX number 37. 17th for Dennis Fjellberg on the MV Films number 3. 18th for Joseph Pilsner. Two Smoke lifing it out here on the SwapMotoLive.com number 58. 19th for Seth Garrett on the BlastMX.com number 92. And 20th, Sean Smith on the Veracco number 80. That is a top 20 rundown brought to you by Ride365.com. Back to this battle, though. Kevin Gonzalez has Holmes, Mitchell, Mills, and Magnetti coming across the finish line, jump right behind him. Look at how close all these guys still are, and this is a great opportunity here for Mitchell to gain a lot more championship points after starting so far down the order. Dropping down the hill. Holmes, Mitchell. Oh, off the track goes Gonzalez, so that's going to be a freebie spot for both of these guys. Brandon Holmes peeking to the inside. Mitchell's going to go wide and triple up the hill here. Try to get a drive to close up on the 62 machine ahead of him. This is incredible, though. Up to P7. Might be on the verge of getting the 6th here, and he's going to do it, actually. Oh, it goes down just as he moves into 6th. Oh, man. Colton Mitchell, he's going to drop to 8th. He will stay 8th because that's Copeland, a lapped rider. I might go back to 9th. Here comes Mills. Nope, stays ahead of him just barely. Back to 8th, though. Unfortunate there. And Leclerc just got around Whelan. So Leclerc back ahead of the Canadian on the number 34 machine. Let's see if Whelan can respond here. He's going to try to peek to the inside. This might be a good spot to make the move, but Leclerc outdrives him up the hill. And he can also scrub the leap a little bit better, so that keeps him lower and getting power back to the ground. But Whelan has been so strong here tonight with a good start. Moved Leclerc out of the way for the lead early and is now trying to go after him for this 4 position again. Must have crashed his way back here, though, because these guys, well, they're not too far behind Gebhardt. Uh-oh, Haley, a little mistake. Let's see gap-wise. Is it coming down 7.6 seconds, a 206.6 to a 206.4? So it's been pretty stagnant. Doesn't seem like Holm is reeling him in that much. Gebhardt, Leclerc, Whelan. Go on board with Whelan and see if we can see where he's gaining and losing time against Leclerc. Gained a 10th back there, lost a 10th again. Then gained a few tenths back. Has to swing way wide to get this triple. Let's see how much time he gains him back. Pretty much evens back out to that 1.7-ish gap. Then cased the uphill triple. Missed the rut in this corner. And suddenly loses about 2 whole seconds there. Man, Leclerc just pieced out suddenly. And Whelan just went down, so Whelan starting to make more mistakes as the track gets rougher. Perhaps his setup not suited to this. Leclerc now trying to reel in Walter Gebhardt. That is not what Jack Haley wants to see. He wants to see Leclerc finishing further and further down the order. Give him as many championships points as possible if he's going to win this moto. Oh, contact! Oh, Gebhardt just got completely sideways before the leap, and Leclerc plows into him. This is an awful spot to try to get unstuck from. Leclerc has to get it all the way spun around, and then he can't do the leap, so Whelan's going to gain a ton of time on Leclerc here as Leclerc just comes over top of the hill, and suddenly Whelan all over the back of Leclerc just like that. Oh, we have a change for the lead, by the way. Adam Holm has taken over the lead. So something happened. Jack Haley has lost the lead and has moved back into second, and Adam Holm looking to pick up his first moto win of 2020. It'll be a long time coming to get this one done for him. But let's go back to that. Oh, Whelan just got around Leclerc just as we switched back here. So Leclerc now falls back behind the Canadian, and here comes Mitchell again trying to get around Holmes for 6th. And that might be about as high as Mitchell can hope to get up to. So at this point, Whelan is definitely playing spoiler in this championship hunt. And to some degree, Adam Holm is trying to fight his way back into it from 5th in the standings. If he can win tonight, it's going to go a long way in his championship fight. Around the outside, there goes the move for Mitchell. No, Holmes fighting back. And Mitchell locks it down, but he's going to go to the outside to try to triple in. Holmes going to cut back underneath, but it doesn't matter. Mitchell jumps over him and goes down. So every time we go to Mitchell, he goes down. I'm going to stop doing that. Whelan just made a mistake, so Leclerc got back by him. Gebhardt weaving his way through, and Haley's still back behind Holmes. So what lap times are we looking at now? 2.6 second lead for Holmes. He just did his best lap of the race at a 2:04.7. And time is winding down. This is going to be a close one to the end here, folks. 2:05.6. Haley, 2:03.9. So he definitely gained some time last time by. Let's sit on board here with the JDR number 2 machine and see if that gap keeps coming down here for a quick second. Looks like it's actually extending just a little bit. Holm maybe got these first couple of corners a little bit cleaner and got it back out to 3.3 seconds for the time being. Haley's got to get around. This looks like it's Simos perhaps on the TMFR machine. No, it's actually 72. Isn't that James Wilcox, I believe? So 2:03.9. It seems like Holm has picked up his pace since Haley put that lap down. Or at least for the time being, he gained a little bit of time. But Haley's starting to close that gap back down ever so slightly. .8 seconds. More lap traffic in the way. Robert Wilson going a lap down there. Haley doesn't get the preferred rut there, but doesn't actually lose too much time. Track's definitely getting a little bit more chewed up in this 450 race than it was in the 250s. .6 seconds. Adam Holm shaking in his boots a little bit here. .2 seconds. Haley goes wide to try to get a better drive for the leap. Doesn't seem like it gained him that much time, or maybe actually lost him a little bit of time. So let's do another quick lap time check. Haley's putting a pretty good one together, even though they hit some lap traffic. 2:04.5 to a 2:05.3, and this is 3 laps to go because time will expire next time by. So 3 to go here at Redbud in 450 Moto number 1, and Adam Holm is trying to hang on for his first Moto win of 2020, but Jack Haley wants to extend his championship lead here. 2 guys that want to win this Moto for very different reasons right now. And Holm, who is the fastest qualifier tonight, certainly looking the absolute best he's looked all season long this week. Not only here, but earlier this Monday, this past Monday, I should say, in Germany, he was also very fast. So something has reignited the number 17 machine, and he's brought these championships down to the wire year after year. May he be trying to size up another late championship run here. Close it down the stretch. This would be a good opportunity, though, for Haley to stifle that. Not even let Holm get the confidence for something like that. He's closed right up onto the back of the number 17, and it looks like Haley actually is preferring to go to that outside line, so he doesn't want to hit that big inside line, and this time it cost him a little bit of time. Swinging around the outside is Haley. Up the Ride 365 tabletop in the back. And time has now expired, so 2-lap board coming out next time by for these guys. Oh, Haley absolutely ripped that corner. And there's going to be 2 different lines picked here at the bottom. Holm's going to go inside, defensive, inside very far. Haley around the outside is going to get a great drive. They're going to be almost side by side up the leap. Haley shorted the leap, though. Not sure if he was just got a bad drive there at the very end or something. Fortunate not to go down, but Holm just made a big mistake before the finish line jump too. 2-lap board out, and the battle is on at Redbud. Can Holm hold off for his first win of 2020, or will Haley come through and take yet another Moto win here? Oh, this is going to be close. Putting Joseph Pilsner a lap down. That's P21 at this point. Adam Holm gets around him. Haley gonna try to fight his way through as well. It's like Holm has done a good job to kind of reestablish the small gap that he had. It wasn't a big gap that he was working with, but at least at this time it's pretty much back to where it was, about square one. And lapped riders are aplenty right now as Adam Holm is trying to weave his way through. Leon Tai just goes straight on, gets right out of the way. Very nicely done. Next up is the number 80, I believe, of Sean Smith that they're going to hit. Holm doing a good job at this point of keeping Haley at bay. But how long can he hold it? Can he hold it to the end of the moto? Does Haley have something lined up to make it happen? These guys are all battling it out ahead of him, and Sean Smith just went down to the outside of the track, so they're going to go by him. That's lapping 20th, and Haley is, oh my gosh, charging so hard into that corner. Holm again, defensive, far inside. Has to stay low, and Haley's going to get another great drive to pull alongside. This might be the move. Dooley's on the leap, and Haley around the outside might take the lead. Holm has no response as Haley goes to the lead, and the white flag is waving. Lap traffic mixed in everywhere as Pachone gets out of the way. 1 lap to go here at Redbud. Can Holm get Haley again? Oh, Haley down! Haley goes down in the final corner after the finish line jump. And coughs up the lead. Oh, Jack Haley. Adam Holm is going to have it his way then. Barring another crash for Holm, Haley is not winning this moto. Oh, man, that was a disaster right there. That could have been a great battle to the end. Holm looked like he was going to get back after it again. But now it seems like he's got it pretty well covered off. So Leclerc now trying to run down Gebhardt. That would be for 3rd. Bryce Whelan has dropped way behind these guys. Ash Deering's moved up to 6th. Daniel Mills is in 7th. Brandon Holmes 8th. Magnetti right behind him in 9th. This is a good battle here. Ryder down at the bottom here. Didn't hear who or see who it was, but Brandon Holmes just went down. It was Daniel Mills, so that was 2 positions there for Magnetti. Jack Haley's just busting front flips now. So he knows well and truly he's just lost this moto. But how about it, Adam Holm? Fastest qualifier clearly has come back to play. And boy, wouldn't that be something if he inserts himself into this championship fight down the stretch. Still a lot of racing left to be done as we're only 4 rounds into this championship. But if Adam Holm can start winning motos and taking points away from Haley, Leclerc, Mitchell, Gebhardt, all these guys battling with in the championship, man, would we have a great 5-way fight to the finish. He is stoked. Does a little bike humping off the leap. 1 final turn, and the first win of the season is underway. Adam Holm has won moto number 1 at Bud's Creek, or Redbud. I'm sorry, I just messed that one up, but he did win moto number 1 at Redbud. Jack Haley crosses the line 2nd. Uh-oh, Leclerc got Gebhardt. Gebhardt fighting back. Pushes him out and blocks him into the next corner. Somehow Leclerc stayed up. And this one's going to come down to the very end here. Gebhardt settles in to the inside rut. Leclerc was absolutely sending it and absolutely blew the corner as well. 2 corners left. Lap traffic. Leclerc a little sideways. Gebhardt down before the finish. Leclerc gets him for 3rd. Oh, Walter Gebhardt chokes away the podium there right at the flag. Comes across 4th. Bryce Whelan looks like he's got 5th locked up, as does Deering for 6th. Magnetti for 7th. Blakely for 8th. Holmes has Gonzalez right behind him, and Colton Mitchell has coughed his way outside of the top 10 here. So big points haul for Adam Holm against Colton Mitchell, as they are going to try to probably dispute 4th in the championship before long. Daniel Mills trying to get back around Colton Mitchell. Gonzalez trying to get around Brandon Holmes. Gonzalez trying to get to Holmes here in the last couple corners. He's going to try a desperation move on the inside. Final turn, and he got it to stick. What a move. Kevin Gonzalez comes across 9th. Colton Mitchell is going to take 11th in this one. Daniel Mills going to get 12th. Thomas Wilcox behind him in 13th. Jacob Holgerson going to finish up on the lead lap in 14th. And Devin Davis is the last man on the lead lap. Let's see if anything else changes here. Yeah, Devin Davis busts a front flip on the leap. 16th was Fjellberg, a lap down. 17th, Seth Garrett. 18th, Austin Eklund. 19th, Sean Smith. And 20th, scoring a point, Joseph Pilsner on a 2-stroke. All right, cuts are in. Let's take a look. And absolutely nothing changed. It all stayed the same. So home from Haley, Leclerc, Gebhardt, Whelan inside of the top 5 here in Moto number 1 at Redbud. All right. Little break here for 5 minutes or so. If you guys have anything you'd like to talk about, any questions you'd like to ask me, do so now. We have a lot of people in chat here tonight, so good to see a good turnout here for the Redbud National. And let's chit-chat here for a little bit as we wait for Moto 2 to get started. Like I said, 5-minute break. There it is in chat, just so that it's announced. Okay, let's see what you guys are talking about here in chat. Anyone race with something other than keyboard or gamepad? Yeah, so Picklock, little trivia here for you guys. I'm assuming you mean gamepad as in controller. Yeah, most people play with a controller. The one exception to that rule that I've seen is when Jeremy Smith broke his wrist in 2016. He raced the Daytona Supercross one-handed with a joystick. Still don't know how he did it, but somehow, some way made it into the main event that night. I think he finished like 19th or something, but yeah. Jeremy freaking Smith, good at this game. Nathan Zaworski wants to know where's the beer. It's right here. Having a Karl Strauss Red Trolley Ale. Just a chillaxin beer. What's the best track you did for track walk? I mean, there's a ton of good tracks that I love, and man, that's tough to pick. I mean, episode 100, Race Factory Compound, that's a great track. I really like Sereno Hills. I think I did that for track walk 44 or something along those lines. You know, obviously doing things like the James Stewart Compound was a big deal. That's any of them, really. I like all my track walks, really. Do you think something like this will be on MX bikes? Yeah, I think one day we'll be racing some races like this on bikes. How much dedicated wham to play this game? How much dedicated time, I'm guessing you mean? Hours. Probably thousands of hours to get really good at this game. I know I've put in well over thousands of hours in this game. Holly is asleep in our bedroom. Do I plan to make an upload video on the greatest sim riders of all time? An updated video? Yeah, I think I'm going to get down and do it in the off season. I have time off from working at Racer X in November, December time. And I'm going to be obviously watching my daughter then, but she'll be napping during the day. And I think I'm going to devote some time then to do an updated top 10 MX Simulator players of all time list at that point. Any idea when Redbud National will be IRL? I don't actually have an idea on that, but just look at racerxonline.com tomorrow. We'll have news on the Nationals. Yeah, short me of the 5 likes. What are you guys doing? Come on. Do you reckon you could do a 30-minute onboard video on one of the riders? Like, upload it to the channel? Sure, if you guys really want to see that. I just don't think it would get many clicks. But if people want to do that, then sure. Tanner Rogers was on keyboard for a while. Yeah, I don't know what the date of Unadilla is. Head over to racetractorgaming.com, and I think they have a list of everything over there for racing in this game. Jesse Mullins is not still banned, I believe. He just quit the game. What? It's mean from mine. It's a mean from Minecraft, Kellen. It means dedicated RAM. What? I don't know what that means. All right. Looks like I answered most of the questions. An onboard like the IRL race is not a regular thing, but some intense races would be sweet. Yeah, I mean, yeah, every now and then I think maybe if I find a guy that's got some crazy battles or something like that, that'd be kind of cool. The problem is, like, graphically speaking, that takes a long time to make it look really pretty other than just putting the pit board up, which I think you guys would be okay with the pit board, but anyway. No, racetracks does not give paid paternity leave, but the state of California does. All right, folks. One more moto here on the docket. Can Adam Holm go 1-1 today here at Redbud and surprise everybody? Wouldn't that be something? Feel like whole shot's going to come from the inside this time, so let's see who's going to get it. It is moto number 2 here at Redbud. The second moto of the 450 class is ready to go. They're revved up, and the gate is down in Michigan. Pretty good start for Holm. Great start for Haley. He's going to try to beat Leclerc. Leclerc dives in super deep and completely misses the apex and puts Haley down in the process. That was all Leclerc going way too deep and taking Haley down in the first turn. Sean Smith gets the ATE Studios Whole Shot Award. Walter Gebhardt right there in second. Cole Gress third. Leclerc with a 4th place start. Jack Haley absolutely buried right now. Walter Gebhardt up front as well. Colton Mitchell up here. Oh, Gebhardt went down and he took Cole Gress with him. So Leclerc squeezes by, Mitchell goes through, and Leclerc is now in the lead. Leclerc, Mitchell, Adam Holm a good start. Magnetti, Davis, Garrett, Deering, Holgerson. That's Eklund making the pass on Armstrong. Gebhardt falls further back. Cunningham, Wilcox, Stanley, Fjellberg, Haley. Well down the order now, and he's got a big uphill battle. But out front right now, it is Alexis Leclerc trying to win the second moto here. And this is good news for Colton Mitchell to get a good start like this. This is exactly what he needed here in this second moto. So 2 guys that really didn't have the first motos they were hoping for. 11th for Mitchell. And Leclerc ended up 3rd, to be fair, so he got around Gebhardt there right before the finish line jump. But I think Leclerc was hoping for a lot more than that when he started up front as well. So it's Leclerc hitting the leap on the first lap away from Mitchell. Adam Holm is there as well. Okay, well, I'm not about to say that entire thing, Alex Efforts. I mean, you gave me $20, so I feel like I need to, but that I don't even know what you're talking about. Oh, man, but thank you, Alex Efforts. Appreciate the $20. ATE Studios, of course, the whole shot area, so he gives out $2.50 to everybody that gets a whole shot in this. So Sean Smith has got $2.50 coming to his pocket. He can buy a lovely pack of chewing gum, or maybe somewhere in this country a gallon of gas. But thank you, Alex. I appreciate the donation, buddy. That is huge. You guys have been awesome tonight with the donations. Of course, I want to always say a big thank you every night that you guys do donate. Like I said, that helps out way more than you guys ever know. Oh, my gosh. Holm and Mitchell both down in the same corner. So it's now Leclerc from Magnetti, Davis, and then Holm back in 4th. Garrett now in 5th. I'm getting a little bit of server lag or something going on. Holm up the inside of Magnetti to try to move back into third. He got that pass complete. Next up, he's going to go after Devin Davis as Leclerc continues to extend his lead out front. It's 450 moto number 2 here at Redbud. And of course, if Holm can get Davis, that would put him in a position to win the overall, regardless of what Leclerc does out front. 1-2 beats a 3-1. Davis with a much better start to his moto than he's had nearly all season long. He was on the broadcast, the rerun last night of High Point, talking about his motos back then, which finished inside of the top 10. I think both motos from starting outside of the top 30, so great rides for Davis. He always gets bad starts, though. And finally, he has a good start, so it'll be curious to see how he does with this one. Leclerc continuing to sneak away at the front as Holm giving chase to Davis. Colton Mitchell up the inside of Magnetti, gets back into fourth. Magnetti settles into that spot behind him. Might go around the outside of him into the next corner. Thinks better of it. Seth Garrett, Jacob Holgerson, Wilcox, Fjellberg. Several riders down. It's Deering and, is that Armstrong? Yeah, James Armstrong. Bunch of guys coming through here. Eklund, Gonzalez jumping down the hill with Armstrong right there as well. Braden Castellaneta, Ash Deering. Cohenauer has a much better ride going this moto as well. Go back and find. Oh, there goes Gonzalez down. But back here is Jack Haley. He's up in 16th. He did a 2:11.6 last time by. And let's just look what it looks like to try to pass some of these guys early in the race here from on board with Jack Haley. Nice, gets around Castellaneta there up to 15th. Wow, Scrub's really low there, actually. Down the inside of Eklund. Eklund fighting back there on the 37, but Haley going to stream to that outside line and make the move. Nicely done. Up to 14th. Kind of cases the table just a little bit. And he's putting some pressure on James Armstrong. Goes to the middle rut outside of the higher inside embankment. Doesn't get the same drive I think he was hoping for, but he still holds on to 14th. That is Armstrong right ahead of him. I think Magnetti, no, it's actually Deering on the 20. That'd be the BPC rider, and then you can see Cohenauer in the teal just ahead of him in 11th. Great action here on board with Jack Haley, though, as he cuts underneath Armstrong. Does he get the pass? He's trying to drag race to the other end there. And moves up to 12th as he also went around the outside of Deering. So something happened to Deering in that corner. Armstrong trying to fight back to the outside of him. Is going to get back by, though. Well, Haley rips that rut on the inside and doubles in. Up to 12th. 2:05.2 in traffic. Impressive stuff for our current points leader. And given that Leclerc was able to finish up in P3 in that first moto as Haley finished second, Haley was only able to gain 2 points in the championship, so it's a 6-point provisional lead at the moment, meaning Haley needs to finish third or better in this moto if Leclerc were to win for Haley to maintain the red plate into next week's action. So Haley going to do everything in his power to make all these passes stick. Keep on moving. Up to 12th. Closing up here on Cohenauer. And that might be, I think that's Pachone up ahead of him. Kohenauer slides out, so that's going to be 11th. Haley continuing to go to that middle rut on the outside, but he gives a really good drive up the hill. And look, he can really scrub the leap as well. And Pachon trying to defend as Haley lays down a 2:04.8, still deep in traffic here. And he's got several people right in front of him he can make a move on. You can see the green dot on the map up ahead. That's Alexis Leclerc continuing to stretch out his lead. So Leclerc is moving and grooving out front. Jack Haley moves down the inside, but can't quite make the move on Pachon just yet. Shout out MC Andy Williams, 279 Canadian Buckaroonies. Finally hit that double I made. Thanks for the tip. Good job, man. Proud of you for getting that done. No, we talked about it on the stream as Haley gets taken down. Oh, that was some serious contact there as across the track sideways, Seth Garrett got hit by Pachon, and Haley's going to lose all those positions he just gained back. So Bryce Whelan, Pachon, Kohenauer, Daniel Mills all going by. Eklund, Armstrong. What a bummer that is right there. So it's Leclerc from home. Davis still holding on to third, but he's got Colton Mitchell right behind him. 10 minutes in, 20 minutes, and 2 laps left to go here. 450 moto number 2 at Redbud. Around the outside, Mitchell going to make the move on Davis. Oh, they crossed over a little bit. Davis responds nicely and holds on to P3. Great stuff here. Oh, Mitchell into the back of Davis, and he hops over a little bit. Nice job to save it. How about the Swedish rider, Jacob Holgersson? He's in 5th right now. This is a great ride for the 503 Burb Moto Machine. Good to see some foreign flavor mixed in here. Gonna tip over though and try to get going just as Wilcox gets there. Got a request to do an onboard with Alexis Leclerc, so why not? He did a 2:02.6 last time by, which is just kind of ridiculous. And he still has a nice 12.6 second lead, so let's see where he's gaining this time. .204.2 Leclerc. Still man on a move right now. Definitely looking like the Leclerc that we have come to know in this game. Here in the second moto, he was not that Leclerc at all in the first moto. Just could not find his groove, kept crashing. Probably got involved with some battles he wasn't really expecting to be involved with that probably didn't contribute to it too well. And a lap after Mitchell fell coming onto the start straight after colliding with Devin Davis, he is caught back up to the number 30 for third. So Mitchell trying to salvage some good points here. Dropping down the hill. Davis Goes to the outside. Mitchell underneath of him. Just can't get there as Davis doubles around the corner. Davis riding really well right now here in this second moto. And he's in a position here where he's got enough of a gap going that even if Mitchell passes him, he'll still have a lot of time to work with back to P5 and beyond. But he's doing such a fabulous job at the moment of keeping Mitchell behind him. Sure, on some level, Mitchell's getting a little frustrated with it because he probably believes he's fast enough to go and catch Adam Holm ahead of him and just cannot make the move on Davis stick just yet. Gonna try a far inside line here. Davis goes off the track and we got almost dualies. Davis doesn't really throw it, but stays low instead and carries speed into the rollers. It's still side by side and Holm was just down. So Mitchell's gonna go up to second as he gets into Holm. No, he goes down. So Davis continues on in third. Oh, that timing is horrendous as Mitchell had the pass made on Davis, but he just ran into the back of Adam Holm, who was just getting going. So Dennis Fjellberg now in 5th. Austin Eklund is 6th. Magnetti 7th. Wilcox 8th. Holgerson back to 9th. And Seth Garrett's 10th. Here comes Haley. He's trying to get back into the top 10. And he will do that with an inside move on Seth Garrett. And he's not too far back of that battle we were just looking at for about 6th spot or so. So Haley back into the top 10. Next up, he's going to try to close that 4-second gap down to Jacob Holgerson. And Holgerson right behind Wilcox, who's right behind Magnetti. So you can get to him. You start really putting yourself in a position to gain some more valuable championship points here. Oh, Wilcox across the track gets into Magnetti, and Magnetti falls down, but he does not fall off the bike, crucially. Here comes Haley. He might have an opportunity to get around Magnetti. Gonna try an inside move here. See if he gets the power down. Magnetti lands on him, and Haley slides out again. That's the same spot Haley fell a few laps ago. And he's going to lose more positions, and he's in a really tough spot here because he's not going to get the uphill triple while others behind him will. Only loses a spot to Whelan and Seth Garrett in the end. But Haley just getting no luck right now in his fight through the field. So Bryce Whelan charging forward. Remember, Whelan battling inside of the top 5 most of the first moto, actually led for a little while. They are right back on the rear fender of Austin Eklund as well. Eklund on that Odyssey MX number 37. And Magnetti on the 107 BPC machine ahead of the Panini Motorsports number 34 of Bryce Whelan. And Whelan up the inside might get that pass done on Magnetti. He does. Nicely done there for Whelan. So still Leclerc leading, and as we are now over halfway into the second moto here of the 450 class at Redbud, let's go ahead and do a very fast top 20 rundown. This time brought to you by the folks at Moto Option Clothing. They were the title sponsor of the Supercross Series for the 9th year running earlier this season. They still always provide some awesome stuff that you should check out, even if they aren't sponsoring the outdoor season for RacerArcticGaming.com. They're still on board in Supercross, and it's a great place. They got some awesome clothes that you should check out, some really cool stuff. I got a package there one time from them, and I still wear some of the shirts, and my wife still has a bikini that she actually bought from them as well. And they got some really cool clothes that you should definitely check out there. And yeah, Moto Option Clothing bringing you this top 20 rundown, in which Alexis Leclerc currently leads Rockstar Husky number 1 out front, away from Adam Holm on the atom.com number 17. Devin Davis, the Takatoji number 30, running in third. A great ride right now for Davis on the 30. Fourth, Colton Mitchell on the Panini Motorsports number 6. Fifth is Dennis Fjellberg on the MV Films number 3. Great ride for him. He's trying to keep that career number of 3 this year, and he needs 100 points this year to do it. So that's why he is out here grinding and doing a good job here in 5th. Thomas Wilcox on the number 27 C4 Designs TMFR, holding on to 6th right now ahead of Austin Eklund on the Odyssey MX number 37 machine. Bryce Whelan holding on to 8th on the Panini Motorsports number 34. 9th now is Jack Haley on the JDR number 2. And 10th, Chase Blakely, BPC number 21. 11th, Luke Magnetti, his teammate on the 107. 12th, Seth Garrett, VlastMX.com number 92. 13th for Daniel Mills on the JDR number 31. 14th, Jeremy Cohenauer on the number 13 MV Films ride, just ahead of Walter Gebhardt on the number 5 Panini Motorsports machine in 15th. 16th, Kevin Gonzalez, number 33 Takatoji ride. 17th for Jacob Holgerson on the 503 Burr Moto machine. 18th, Anthony Pachone on the Spink 127. 19th for Braden Castellaneta on the Nova GFX number 221. And 20th right now, again, on the 2-stroke. No, he's not. He's actually on his 450 this moto. But it's Joseph Pilsner. He was 20th in the first moto, riding a 12-year-old 2-stroke. And now he is in 20th again on a modern 454-stroke. SwapMotoLive.com, holding it down. That's been a Top 20 Rundown, brought to you by Moto Option Clothing. So it's still Leclerc leading the way here from Adam Holm. And Mitchell just got around Devin Davis as we switched to him because they are continuing their battle on down the hill. And with 10 minutes left in this race, Davis might behoove of him to settle into a pace here, not go for it, because if he starts overriding here a little bit too much, he may start crashing his way backwards. But he's definitely going for it still. He's keeping Colton Mitchell honest. Mitchell now opening up a slight gap on Davis. Wonder if that's going to be just enough for Davis to settle down here. Dennis Fjellberg is coming, though, from 5th. Not out of the question he gets up there. Magnetti just went down in front of Jack Haley, so Haley gains another spot. He's up to 8th now. Realistically speaking, he's going to need some luck here to get up to some of these positions ahead of him. 3.5 seconds down, though, Bryce Whelan just ahead of him. And Leclerc is still leading the way out front. Coming up on 22 minutes into this moto, and he is looking quite comfortable in the lead as well. Doesn't seem like he's too phased by the position. Let's do a little look at how far the gaps are. So there's Leclerc out front. We'll just go through the field. So that is Ohashi on the 71, a lap down. There is Adam Holm in second on the 17, in position to win the overall Grand Prix right now. Or Grand Prix, it's not a Grand Prix, it's a national. So the overall national right now. So Holm really actually is the only person even kind of in the same zip code as Leclerc. These two have gone at the front, because here comes Colton Mitchell on the 6. In third, down through the screen. And where has Devin Davis gone? He's now behind Dennis Fjellberg. Fjellberg's got around Devin Davis for third, or for 4th, I mean. Davis has dropped back to 5th. There is 6th, Thomas Wilcox on the number 27. That's a lapped rider. I think that might have even been August Sanders if I read the number right. There is 7th, Bryce Whelan, and 8th of Jack Haley. 9th, Austin Eklund. 10th, Chase Blakely. 11th, Walter Gebhardt. 13th or 12th for Luke Magnetti. 13th, Jeremy Cohenauer, matching his number. Holgerson in 14th and 15th here for Daniel Mills coming down the hill. Seth Garrett coming down here in 16th. 17th for Kevin Gonzalez trying to lap Leon Tai. 18th Pachon on the 127. 19th now for Pilsner. He's moved up a spot on the 58. And that should be, is that 20th? Yes, it looks to be. We're waiting for Leclerc to come back around. There's Brady Stanley in 21st. See how far these gaps are spread apart, though. It's actually not as close on the track as you would think. There's Braden Castellaneta coming down the hill in 22nd, and there's Leclerc again, so he's lapped all the way up to 23rd at this point. Still has 6 minutes left to run here, and Holm has got this thing down to 10 seconds. 2:04.5 to a 2:06.6 last time by, so Holm chipped away 2 whole seconds last time by on Leclerc. And wouldn't this be something if Holm comes from behind to steal this one away from Leclerc late? Down to 9.6. 9.2, it's coming down. Holm is definitely flying. And Leclerc, at least for right now, does not have to deal with any lap traffic. So this is all just raw speed Adam Holm is putting down right now. It is just so weird to see anybody catching Leclerc, but someone's going to do it. It's usually either Jack Haley or Adam Holm, two guys that have long fought against Leclerc. 2:03.9 to a 2:05.7, almost 2 whole seconds again last time by. But that gap staying pretty stagnant right now at 9 seconds. Adam Holm not able to close it down too much just yet. Now back out to 10 seconds, so it seems like Leclerc has responded at least so far to that time coming down. Maybe he's going to try to run a hot lap of his own to extend it back out and kind of demoralize Adam Holm a little bit. Leclerc not going to catch lappers this lap, but maybe next lap he'll hit that little 5 group ahead of him. But here is the Frenchman out front still. 10-second lead. Stayed that way. Mitchell 33 seconds off the lead. Fjellberg running a solid 4th. Wilcox now 5th. Eklund is up to 6th. Gebhardt is now 7th. Haley is now 8th. Blakely now 9th. Well, actually, Whelan just went by Blakely. Agnetti 11th. Devin Davis was 3rd. He's dropped all the way to 12th. That's exactly what I was talking about. Trying to settle into a pace and not just absolutely send it because he's going to start crashing. So Leclerc checks in out front again. Just over 27 minutes down, so we're looking at 3 minutes and 2 laps still to go. Adam Holm puts in a 2:05.4 to a 2:04.8, so that gap opened back up by 0.6 of a second. And Haley's now moved up into 6th, and just as he does that, he goes down. So Gebhardt goes back ahead of him, and they'll continue their battle. Eklund just off the back of these guys, and Whelan on the 34 coming into the mix as well. Haley trying to go after Walter Gebhardt here. Makes something happen. get up into 6th. Like I said, it'll be a salvage job because at this point he's going to lose the championship lead with the ride that Leclerc is putting in. Can't imagine Haley's going to be too thrilled about what happened in that first corner, though. Leclerc went way too deep and then lost the front wheel and took Haley down. And that's what caused this entire thing, is Haley's going to go around Gebhardt, who was down. Because Haley had a good start, too. They were pretty much 1 and 2 into the first corner, and then Haley just had nowhere to go as Leclerc just went straight. And now Haley has to come all the way through the field. And he's losing so many points in the process. I mean, that, to me, that is one of those situations where if I'm Haley, you're starting inside of Leclerc at the next round, and you are not letting off the gas either. Oh, Haley, oh, it's going to go down, and that's going to cost him more positions. Bryce Whelan goes by, Chase Blakely goes by, and Haley's going to get up just before Austin Eklund gets there. Peek back up front. Does that gap come down at all? 7.5 seconds. I don't know. This could get interesting, folks. It's still pretty long shot that Holm gets there, but he's definitely trying. And boy, this would be a good time to go 1-1. Pick up a lot of points against your compatriots in the championship when you're really far down in 5th. Leclerc has got to weave through some lap traffic, and we've seen lap traffic wreak havoc here tonight. Going back to that first 250 moto. They're not trying to do it on purpose, but sometimes the speed, the closing speed Leclerc has compared to some of the guys that he's trying to lap, just so different. Looks like that's Pilsner that he's lapping, so Pilsner gets out of the way very nicely. "30 minutes is complete, though, so 2-lap board coming out next time by for our race leader. And he's just trying to hold on to this lead down the stretch. Got it back out to an 8-second lead on Holm, and now Holm coming down the hill is going to try to claw it back in a little bit more. Leclerc now behind 8:28, I believe that is. And the defending champion getting through lap traffic quite well at this point. It's not a lot of lap traffic, but it was enough at this stage in the race that it could have been a little bit of a problem. Doesn't even seem like there's that many guys on the track right now when you really look at it in the top right corner. It's a long racetrack. All right, 2-lap board out. Leclerc checks in out front. Adam Holm still trying to close that gap down. 8.6 seconds. Let's do a lap time check again. 2:06.1 to a 2:05 flat. Leclerc re-extending that gap out front. Just when Holm starts chewing away a lot of time, seems like Leclerc wicks it back up. Meanwhile, Wilcox and Fjellberg are being caught by Gebhardt right now. And this is going to present an opportunity if these guys start getting together that Haley can actually gain quite a bit of points, because he could maybe get all the way up to 4th here if things really start going sideways. He's only, right now, he's only about 12 seconds off of P4. Gebhardt's going to go to the inside of Fjellberg to make the move on the number 3. Next up, he's going to try to go after Wilcox, who's been putting in a solid ride here. Tyler Fresky, thanks for the $1.99 donation. He asked, can I call you Dad now? Is that how that works? I mean, look, to be fair, people have been calling me Dad or Papa Kellen or whatever for a long time, which is funny to me because I feel like of like all the people that I'm friends with and stuff, I'm one of the youngest looking people I know. Like, I don't feel like I have that grizzled old look to me. But I'm sure it's not too long before I'm going to start getting some gray hairs being a dad now and stuff like that. So whatever. If you want to call me Dad, you want to call me Papa Kellen, whatever you want to call me, I don't care. I'm happy with it. Down went Gebhardt, though, and then down goes Whelan. So here comes Haley to try to make some moves. He's going to get 2 spots right there to move up into 6th. That's some good points right there. Now, can he get Fjellberg or Wilcox ahead of him, which is what I was talking about? Looks like Holmes' late attack here on Leclerc is going to come up just short as white flag is now waving. And Holm, did he gain time? No, 2:05.3 to a 2:05.8. Well, gained a smidge of time, half a second. But not going to be enough, obviously. So Jack Haley, can he get up inside of the top 5 in this moto? Be a pretty good salvage ride here because it looked a little bleak there towards the end. So to go 2-5 today, not ideal, but not going to lose a lot of points to Leclerc in the grand scheme of thing. 3-1 for Leclerc and a 2-5 for Haley. He'll lose the championship lead as he'll be 3 points down in the championship, I believe, now. Trying to close up on Fjellberg, though. This would be good for him to get up inside of the top 5. Definitely charging late. He probably just put in his one of his best laps of the race, 2:05.2. All over Fjellberg right now. This might be the move. Trying to cut down the inside. It's not often we see number 2 and number 3 race each other. We see number 1 and number 2. But good to see Fjellberg having a solid moto, but Haley's trying to play spoiler a little bit on Fjellberg's day. As he goes around the outside, Fjeld goes down. And Wilcox is all over Mitchell for 3rd. And boy, wouldn't this be something if they get together. If they get together and somehow Mitchell and Wilcox go down and hand over 3rd to Haley, Haley retains the points lead. Boy, that would be quite incredible as Leclerc comes up the leap one more time. What's he got for us? Nothing. No style out of Leclerc. No biggie, though. He's going to come through, and he's going to go 3-1 on the day. It's not going to be enough for the overall, but Moto 2 belongs to Alexis Leclerc. And for the first time in 2020, Adam Holm is going to be a winner, folks. A Moto 1 victory, fastest qualifier before that, and then a solid effort here in Moto 2. He's not going to sweep the day, but it's almost as sweet as it could be. Adam Holm has won the Red Bud National. Mitchell and Wilcox, this is going to be the one to watch here. Battle for 3rd. Wilcox might get a little sendy on us. Mitchell just trying to defend. Wilcox is going to go outside here and try to get a drive up the hill. He does, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think Mitchell's going to be just in a good enough position to hold on to this here with a couple turns to go. Wilcox trying to get it close, but Mitchell's going to hold on for 3rd. Oh, and Wilcox goes down. That's going to hand Haley 4th. Oh, Wilcox with the mistake of all mistakes at the flag. Haley gets 4th in this moto, and because of that, he'll only be 1 point down of Leclerc heading into next week. Walter Gebhardt crosses the line 6th. Gonna be 7th for Fjellberg here. Good ride for him. 8th for Austin Eklund. 9th gonna go to Bryce Whelan. And 10th is gonna be Chase Blakely here. So the top 10 is now complete. Luke Magnetti trying to hold off Kohenauer. Oh no, Kohenauer is, I apologize, not on the lead lap. But Magnetti just went down anyway, so he's going to cough up 11th because here comes Daniel Mills. Magnetti trying to get it righted and just cannot do it, so Davis is going to get by and Seth Garrett. Oh, Garrett goes down, though. Magnetti's still going to finish up 13th. And Holgerson, first man, a lap down in 15th. 16th, Gonzalez. 17th was Lidman. 18th for Pilsner. 19th for Pachon. And 20th was Brady Stanley as we wait for the cuts to come in. And our 3-day, 3-night in a row streaming is going to come to a close. So glad you guys could join us, though. This has been a lot of fun. And there is Cuts. Looks like Pilsner got 17th on Lidman on Cuts. And that was it. It stayed the same otherwise. So Leclerc won the moto. Adam Holm wins the overall. And Redbud is now behind us. Again, thank you guys so much for joining us these past 3 evenings of streaming. It has been a long one for us, but I'm so glad that you guys stuck with us all the way through. And Redbud now behind us. So we're going to head into the 7th round of GPs next week and the 5th round of Nationals. You guys won't want to miss that. Monday and Wednesday, same time, same place. And we hope to see you guys then. As always, appreciate you guys stopping by and watching here on Start Your Systems. And we'll see you guys in the next one. So long for now.